Welcome to the Smark Foundation podcast. I'm Aaron. This is Adam.
Oh, hi, Marks.
And we are here to cover the best and worst of AEW and some news from the wrestling world for the last week. Um, I guess we'll start. Dory Funk has passed. Dory Funk Jr. has passed away. Um, it's a sad day for the Amarillo territory. The last of the Funks, who is active in the business, is gone. Um, I will say that while I met Terry, I think I've met Dory one time maybe, very briefly. But he is intrinsically linked to this territory, just by virtue of being a Funk, and them doing their thing here. But he also later in his life and early on in my time in the wrestling business was running a promotion in Florida that was kind of a pipeline into NXT and WWE and other promotions. There's a bunch of guys from that promotion at the time that I remember it, um, that ended up in Control Your Narrative and TNA and NXT and AEW now. Um, it was like an online YouTube only. You can find it on YouTube, I'm sure. But it was like a YouTube only promotion. There was like no fans in the building. It was extremely difficult to watch. I will say that. But he handed a lot of my friends a really big opportunity. A lot of guys I knew moved to Florida to train with Dory and be part of his promotion. And that on top of, my granddad, who wasn't a big wrestling fan, um, he took my dad to the matches a lot because my dad was a big wrestling fan. And he, my grandpa, who wasn't a big wrestling fan, loved Dory. Like he loved Dory, man. Um, and without getting too deep into it, our condolences to his family and his friends, to my fellow people in the Amarillo wrestling scene who are definitely touched by this. Um, Last Funk, man,
Yeah.
that is a wealth of knowledge that has blinked out of the wrestling industry that will continue on thanks to people like Jake Logan and myself and a few other people who will pass that, who, hold that information and will pass it along to anybody who asks. But
Even guys like Adam Copeland went to the Funkin' Dojo.
yeah.
Like, you know, they pass those things down. Kurt Angle
Mhm.
trained with the Funks. It was the Funkin' Dojo was where they sent guys like Mark Henry and Kurt Angle, the prospects who, in the 90s, the prospects that they wanted to train, they sent them to the Funkin' Dojo.
Yeah.
So,
A place where they were definitely going to get taught how to wrestle, but also get the shit beat out of them and see if they really wanted to wrestle. Um, that's not unusual in wrestling schools. They're not like hamstringing people or breaking ankles anymore to prove that wrestling ain't fake. But
yeah.
I mean, I've definitely something that came from the Funks was the chop line, at least into our system here in Amarillo, where and that's you get a green guy. Um, it's kind of like the pre first match graduation. You put them in the corner, you put their shirt up over their face, and
Yeah.
everybody else in the training school and all the vets and everybody just lines up and chops the shit out of them.
I saw. I mean, and that's a tradition that has eclipsed just those people. Like
Yeah.
I remember seeing a clip of Chris Van Vliet getting into a chop line
Oh
at
God.
and did you see his chest? It was hamburger by the end of this, and he was
Yeah.
just getting chopped by um uh what's his face uh Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears, and they're very, very, very green students at the time.
Oh yeah.
The chops they were throwing were not good, but they were hard. It
Hmm. That's kind of the
didn't
point.
look good, but they did sound good.
Yeah. I've been part of quite a few chop lines. Once I graduated from referee school, I still came to training because I wanted to know more about the business. You're literally never done learning about wrestling. Like they're the oldest vets who are the best vets. If they tell you I don't know everything, that's the guy you should listen to because he wants to, but there's too much, man. You're never going to learn everything. But you know, we carried their traditions at the NWA territory that became top of Texas wrestling. Now, you know, in the venue, there's still big pictures of Dory and Terry on the wall. They're prominently featured next to the flags and stuff. So, super important to my area of the world, but super important to wrestling altogether. Some of the like we've dropped some names already, but some of the best people in the business have trained under these guys. Some of the most legendary acts in the last like 20, 30 years have been these guys' students. So, you know, rest in peace, Dory.
Yeah, man.
You
Rest
know,
in peace.
yeah. Um, other than that, we got, speaking of going from veteran to green and
Yeah.
squirrel shit, we have a little situation with AJ Styles' son, Avery. Now Adam kind of brought me up to speed on this before the show because I have not had a chance to sit down and like read the story or figure out what was going on here. But as I understand, Avery wrestled at GCW. He was booked at GCW to wrestle. He was asked by several people to help clean up the building after the show and hid in the locker room instead. Now, normally that would be like one person saying that, but I've seen and heard of several people saying that. That's how I found out about the situation. I saw tweets from wrestlers saying, "Oh no, he was hiding," but I didn't understand what was going on exactly. Now, if it's his first match on the show ever, and he was asked by veterans and promoters to help out to do something, I don't give a fuck what your last name is. You should have been picking up chairs. You should have been helping break down the ring. Now, GCW, maybe they got their own ring crew, but I have never been to a show with any level of wrestler where things had to be put up afterwards that they didn't help.
Fact of the matter is that, like, even if he was just a wrestler on the show, and even if he was only hired to wrestle, the fact of the matter is, it's still a show that you put on. You are a part of the show that was put on in the building that has an agreement with the company that you work for.
Yes.
Even if it wasn't part of wrestling etiquette, even if it wasn't a part of like regular etiquette, which for the record it is. I can't tell you how many times when there were events like at church when I was a kid that, you know, well, you did something in the gym that required a whole bunch of chairs to be set up. You're setting them up and you're taking them down. That's just the way of it. You came to this thing. You helped put this on. You participated. Okay. Yeah. Now it's your turn to, clean it all up. Leave it as good or better than it was when you got in. Even if it wasn't part of regular etiquette like that, it's still the company that invited you to work for them. They didn't have to extend anything to that kid at all.
Nothing.
They gave him a really high profile opportunity for somebody who's had just a handful of actual professional matches to already be on a GCW card when GCW is arguably the highest profile independent promotion, at least on the Northeast, if not in the country. Like it is a well-known indie fed. Mm-hmm. Fact of the matter is, that's a huge opportunity for being on probably, no more than one handful's worth of matches. That's the least you could do is offer to put away chairs.
Yeah.
Like,
but you were asked.
Good Lord. Like, it's not even that taxing a thing. Like, you put away chairs, man.
No. I will say this, at the NWA territory here, we did not ever have to take down the ring because it was a permanent installation. We had a building. We ran it every Saturday. The ring stayed where the ring was. We would get under it, before each show and make sure it was all tightened up and everything from the last show, retighten ropes and all that good stuff, but we never had to move the ring. We never had to take it
Right.
apart.
Right.
And when we traveled, we had a whole nother ring that we traveled with. And one of the reasons why we didn't take it apart though is because the one in the building at the NWA territory here was the WCCW Sportatorium ring. And you don't want to take it apart and put it back together a whole bunch of times. It's old. It was old.
It is old and liable to be probably like falling apart despite
point,
being put together.
It probably is now. Last time I went to that venue, they were using the travel ring, so I'm assuming that the old Sportatorium one is probably out, but
it's a relic.
It was a relic. It was a relic when I was working in it, and it so we never took it apart and put it back together, but we did have a bunch of chairs and they always got put in stacks and then put up against the wall. And it was just part of like, so that people could come through and mop the floors and stuff like that. We had venue staff who would do that stuff, but I saw NWA world champions picking up chairs at the end of shows, and people like Raven and Paul London who would come in, wrestle the show and be like, hey, what's good? Like before they would leave, hey, we're all going to the bar. What do we got to do first? Type stuff, and hey, we got to put up the chairs. That's all Jack wants us to do is put the chairs away after the show. Oh, hell yeah, dude, I got you. And, there goes Raven, or there goes Paul London, or Tim Storm, or fucking Rob Conway, or Cahagas, or I can name 100 dudes who had no business at their veteran level picking up chairs, but still did it because that was just part of the show. And, like that's just, and so like if you have I'm sorry, man, but like I respect AJ Styles to all kinds of extents. Like I really have a lot of respect for that guy, but you should not be defending your son in this situation. I mean, yeah, cool. I get it. That's your kid, but no, you should definitely be sitting him down and being like, you do what the veterans ask you to do. And if you don't, the people that you work with aren't going to respect you. And I'm sorry, but he ain't going to be working with his daddy.
Nope.
And if he's fucking acting like this at shows, he definitely ain't going to be working with his dad.
Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they didn't shoot him up the pipeline like they did with Dom.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
And maybe I don't know the reason.
Maybe that's AJ. Maybe that's AJ. Because he didn't come up through the WWE pipeline either. He got there of his own merit, and I understand.
I think maybe too is because what was different was that Ray is still active.
Yeah.
Whereas AJ Styles has retired.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason. Like maybe if he was still active, maybe he would take the offer that WWE probably would have lent out.
Yeah.
Since it's a bad look to give it to Dom and not to Avery.
Yeah.
But it's just I think that no disrespect or anything, but from the outside looking in, hearing a lot of like old school wrestling culture, a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it is like weird, like super duper weird.
It is weird,
and
it is
kind of culty, and
for sure,
kind of like way too overly on respect. Like, not that you shouldn't show respect to each other, but the ways that you show it often manifest in very weird ways. Like, during COVID, do you really want to be shaking everybody's hand in the back?
Elbow bumps during COVID, man.
Like, for real. Like, I get, the genesis of a lot of these things was basically 99% of the time to protect kayfabe, and I get that, but like we don't live in that age anymore.
No.
We don't need to. Just because a tradition is a tradition doesn't mean it's good or helpful or constructive, or has a place anymore. This, however, will always have a place, and this is something that you should just, again, I'm going to reiterate this because it seems like it should be common sense. But apparently to Avery Styles, it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
This should be something you offer to do. Mm-hmm. And I know I know for a fact that AJ Styles is a religious man. I know that he took his kids to church every Sunday that he happened to be home in town. Okay, I know this on an on a cellular level. I know this, so I know that Avery knows of this particular tradition outside the bounds of professional wrestling. So what is going on here?
No,
Like
no.
what a selfish prick. Like
Yeah. It seems very selfish to me. It's just foundational respect type shit, and like people
yeah.
will see that and go like, oh, he can't even be that respectful. Like I don't expect him to respect me. Why would I hire him? You know how many times I have ever not helped with chairs and everything? Never. To the point where I even helped put away chairs and, like clean up the venue when I was writing the check, when I was handing out pay to wrestlers
Yeah.
because I fucking paid,
Yeah.
because
Do you
I'm the
think
one
anybody
paying for shit.
you think anybody wants to put away chairs?
No,
No, nobody wants to.
no.
But it's the polite, courteous, respectful, gracious thing to do.
Yeah.
Like it's like that what is it the you can tell a person how good a person is by what they do with a shopping cart,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it is. It is
It's this
exactly.
kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
akin to that.
Yeah. You can tell how
And
good a
to
person is at
me,
the service.
I'm hearing about this, and it's like, I better, the next thing I hear about Avery Brooks better be that either an apology, a public one, or better, that and action to prove that he's learned a lesson.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, I know I'm not going to any indie shows with his name on it. Because I don't want to, be seen supporting what I perceive to be just real douchebag human being behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's not a good way to earn the respect of your peers. And when you're that young in the business and that green, that part is important because you earn the respect of your peers and then they teach you things. And I
Yeah.
know you got a daddy who's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, but I
Yeah.
promise you, he didn't get that way by learning from one guy. He learned from a
No.
lot of guys. And
Yeah.
they all had respect for him, which is why they taught him things. And so it's just foundational respect in the industry. And
Yeah.
not a
May
good look
you
for
all,
Avery Styles.
a message to our listeners, may you all have and receive more respect to your fellow man and from them than Avery Styles showed his peers and the patrons of that establishment by hiding in the back when there was the simplest little task to do.
Yeah.
Unreal. Unreal.
The other thing I want to talk about, of course, as usual, are while this goes on, our Call in the Ring, or not Call in the Ring, but Dark Side of the Ring episode this week was
Yeah.
about the Renegade. Trigger
What
warning
you
for
mean the Ultimate Warrior ripoff from
yes,
WCW?
yes, and trigger warning for self harm, guys. That gimmick basically cost that poor man his life. I mean, what we had was his peers, or a few of his peers, the people who actually knew him, which was not a lot of people, like Father James Mitchell, and we had Bischoff for a little bit because I mean he was vice president of WCW when they did this, and um, his old tag team partner from after the whole Hogan thing, which was
Jimmy Hart on there? Didn't he
Jimmy Hart was
manage the
not
guy?
on there. He did manage the guy, but he
Really?
was not on there. Yeah,
Really? Huh.
yeah. A lot of wrestling journalists, and then his ex-wife, who was like the biggest talking head in the episode. But yeah, all they talked about was how WCW put this guy in this impossible situation with this bait and switch that they did, where they pretended it was going to be the Ultimate Warrior, and then it ended up being this guy. And yeah, he looked a lot like the Ultimate Warrior, but
Not enough though.
it turns out that they basically discovered him when he was like, so he started off as like a Chippendale dancer,
I could see that.
And in the early 90s, I mean, of course, they all looked like the Ultimate Warrior. If you ever see pictures of these guys from back then, they kind of all looked like this guy. At least when they had billboards in my town during this era, this is how they all looked. You know,
Hmm.
big poofy 80s hair and then giant muscles. But he started wrestling because he didn't want to dance. And then at an indie show, he got a rub from the Ultimate Warrior. Like they wrestled a match as a tag team or something like that, and they looked exactly alike. Somebody at WCW noticed how much alike they looked. And that's where this whole thing was born. So like the biggest moment of his indie wrestling career turned into basically the thing that killed him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they went through all the stuff with, you know, him being the fake warrior, the crowd turning on him, including his match at a Bash at the Beach with Paul Orndorff, who was a super heel and everybody hated at the time, but who the crowd was cheering when he wrestled this guy. And back then, that's like a death sentence, man. For
Yeah.
them to cheer for the heel because they hate you so much as the face, that's a death sentence. Well,
And even then, it wasn't. It was misplaced because a crowd can only voice its displeasure in one direction,
yeah,
right?
right.
In order to voice your displeasure in a vocal way at a wrestling show, in the direction of the people running it, is to unfortunately use the wrestlers as proxy,
Yeah. So,
which always gives the company a level of uh, plausible deniability. Unfortunately,
yeah, well, their level of plausible deniability went all the way to they finished with the Hogan thing. Like Jimmy Hart, they showed the clip of Jimmy Hart basically like embarrassing this guy on national TV. And um afterwards, and I didn't remember this because I mean, how memorable was this guy's run after the fake warrior
didn't he
thing?
have like a motorcycle revamp? Like he was still the renegade, but he was just a
Yeah,
biker.
he was still the renegade, but he
Yeah,
was just basically a biker, and they put him with this
he was
Chris
like rebel
Gomez.
without a cause, renegade
Yeah,
guy.
well, they
Yeah,
put him with this Joe, you know, this Joe Gomez dude who was Chris Gomez, I think, but they were it was his tag partner, and they showed a few clips of tag matches that they were in that I don't remember. But when they shit canned him, they did it in like the most scumbag 90s promoter way possible, which was they piss tested him. Because, you know, back then, the only time you got a piss test was when they were trying to fire you.
yeah, because
And
they
so,
wanted some uh, plausible reason to do it.
yeah, to get
You were
out
a
to,
scapegoat.
yeah, some way to hit the clause and get rid of the contract without having to pay you.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened is he got a random piss test, pop for steroids, and they fired him. And it was something like a month and a half, maybe 2 months later after he was fired that he killed himself. And Dark Side of the Ring even made it seem like there was some controversy to that too, where like his ex-wife was reading the police report, and it's a statement from his girlfriend at the time who was saying that like she pulled out a gun and he took it away from her and killed himself with it.
Uh,
But it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't. I mean, the way they made it sound is like maybe she did it. Um, but yeah, it was super sad though because it's like the beginning of the story is really like upbeat. You know, like he's you know, this exotic male dancer, and then he wants to be a
yeah.
wrestler, so he dances to pay his way through wrestling school, and he went to a bunch of different good ones. And I don't understand because the names that this lady said of schools that he went to, it explains not even a little bit to me how he was so terrible in the ring because he was outright awful in the ring. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mince words just because the guy is past. He was bad. But like he
He
went to
was,
a bunch of
yeah.
wrestling schools, man, and he was on indie shows and stuff like that. But even his indie character before WCW was very warrior-ish, very
Yeah.
warrior-ish. And so then he was in a tag. Then he did one tag team match with the actual Ultimate Warrior. WCW noticed how much they look alike standing next to each other. He gets this opportunity to be Hogan's like number two guy, and he's
And they
just
put him in
not.
there they put him in there before he was ever ready,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like,
he wasn't good enough in the ring to be in there at that level. The fans didn't like how they bait and switch, because remember Hogan was calling it his ultimate surprise,
yeah,
and then this guy shows up. And it's like, that's not the Ultimate fucking Warrior. Like, even if he couldn't use the name Ultimate Warrior,
yeah,
that's not him. Like, that's not the
hmm
same guy. And they tried to pretend it was, kind of. And,
yeah.
they tried to play off that, he just can't be the Ultimate Warrior or whatever. But it wasn't the same. It wasn't Jim Hellwig.
No,
And so yeah, then they kind of just tossed him aside after embarrassing him on national TV. And like he just, I mean, it wasn't very long after that he killed himself. Like eh,
yeah,
it's sad as fuck, but at the same time, I'm like, man, like all this does is show people who like, if a casual picks up this episode, the wrestling
mm,
business as a whole looks awful, looks just
yeah,
awful. And I mean that there is a side of this business that is just that fucking awful. There are people in
mhm.
this business that are just that fucking terrible. But this makes it look bad, man. And
That's
I'm
just,
hoping next week will be better. Next week, though, is going to be extra sad also because it's Paul Orndorff.
oh man, like
Yeah,
that's gonna be real bad. Like
that's going to be a rough
that
one.
poor guy, like his that arm of his, it's just completely atrophied. It
Yeah.
made that elbow that he dropped extra pointy though. He
Yeah.
got he got it over. He got it over. Like he found a way to make that weakness his strength in the end, which I thought was
Mm,
like, which I think is admirable and really savvy, actually.
yeah. But yeah, we'll see how that episode turns out. I'm excited to see that one, as I usually am with these. I don't know how many are left. I think there only might be 3 or 4 left. So like we'll see what we got to cover in the next couple of weeks. But Orndorff is
Yeah.
next week. That said, let's get to the fucking wrestling. And
Ooh
I will
boy,
tell you
howdy!
this, man, boy, I felt like there was a heavy imbalance as to which show was better this week, and it sure as fuck was Dynamite. Okay,
Yeah,
not
I
the
mean
least
Collision
of
was
which
good, but
Collision
like
was good, but
Dynamite was
Dynamite was,
amazing.
Dynamite was another
Oh,
bar raiser, and of course we are in the cathedral, the Catedral de Lucha Libre,
oh,
fucking Arena,
God, that
Mexico.
crowd. There were a lot of like, I know it was a lot of like, it's one thing to just go to a wrestling show because it's there. It's
Mm,
another thing to have AEW fans in the building, and you can tell they were AEW fans. They were probably CMLL fans as well, but there were a lot of people wearing AEW merchandise in that crowd.
yeah, a lot of people
They
wearing AEW
knew who these
merchandise.
people were, even the people who don't go visit CMLL. They knew who
Yeah,
they were, who they knew who they liked. They popped for damn near everything. Like this was, I mean, I'm biased because of the crowd I was part of for Double or Nothing, but like this was definitely top 5 crowds of the year for sure, probably top 3.
yeah. They were anxious to sing at somebody too, man. Everybody who had a
Oh
sing
yeah.
along type theme got a
See, now I feel
ovation.
stupid because I still haven't learned Memuero and I need to. So
Yeah.
I don't know when the next time I'm gonna see Mystico in person, but I'm gonna be ready.
Well, learn it in
I'm gonna be
Spanish and
ready. Yeah,
don't read the English translation. It's really weird. Um, just learn it in Spanish.
that's fine.
But
That's fine.
I made the mistake. Like I was looking at the lyrics today, and I made the AI Google thing, because I didn't just go to a result. I just saw what it showed me, and I hate that thing sometimes because what it did was something I didn't ask for, which was show me the U.S.
Yeah.
translation of the lyrics, and I can't unsee what it said. Um, so yeah, I just stick with the Spanish version. Um, and either way, this was a banger show. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing that I can take issue with, the only real negative thing I'm going to say about this show, is that what was
Yeah,
with
get it out of the way
play?
now. Why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What was with placing the fucking commercials in the middle of the matches? Shit was annoying the fuck out of me.
See, I never noticed because I use my AEW and a VPN, so I see everything. Like the commercial breaks that I don't see are the ones in between the matches. Those ones I don't see, but I see the entire match. So I don't have that issue. So I know where they're placed because you can just tell when they're going off the air, even if they don't announce it, which they usually do. But even when you can't, you get,
The
oh, they're going to
commentators
the
start saying
outside.
some
There's a big
wild
thing.
shit.
It's like there are tropes
Yeah,
that if you watch long enough, you can guess when they're going to commercial.
yeah,
Like, oh, they did like, and they're the same in WWE too. So don't make this like a WWE versus AEW thing. It's not that. It's just TV wrestling in the United States. It's
yeah,
like, oh, they're both on the outside because somebody dove onto the other person. They're probably going to commercial.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I mean, you can just tell.
yeah. But they kept putting them in the middle of matches. I don't know if it's an HBO thing or a TBS thing, but they gotta fucking stop that. They got it like, but
Well,
also
if
like
it's
there was like no time between matches. There was so much shit on this card that like a
yeah, they
match would end
packed
and
it in.
somebody, yeah, man, it was.
They packed it in.
They were
It was like
really
a pay
pushing
per
their
view
curtain
that
to
way.
curtain time. They were really pushing their curtain to
Yeah,
curtain time.
they advertised it as a 2.5 hour show, and it still wound up being almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours. Yeah, it was like a 20 minute
Yeah, like
overrun
10
on two
minutes
and a half
shy, three
hours.
hours, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
Brian
20 minute
Alvarez
overrun.
got his panties in a twist over it too.
Yeah, well, he can untwist them
Oh,
and
I
go.
shouldn't say it that way. That's slightly sexist, but you know what I mean. He got his feathers all ruffled over it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can untwist them or go buy a new set or whatever. But I just fuck that guy. Anyway, on to more
What
positive news.
happened to him?
Uh,
He just turned into a cranky old guy. He's not that much. He's not that much older than we are.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's wrong with that guy.
Like,
But
don't get me wrong. Like, with my kids and everything, I have to adjust the times when I watch, and I'm on a deadline because we do this show. But I don't get paid to do this show. He gets paid to watch everything.
mhm.
So, like, I understand the frustration because there's more and more content that he needs to watch. I get that, but it's your chosen profession that you get paid to do, Broseph.
Right?
So, how about you shut up and just do your job or not? I know
Like
there's a lot of people who would prefer you just not do your job and like
yeah,
disappear, and you wouldn't really change anything. Or maybe what you should do is go halfway and have Dave watch everything, but only comment on AEW, and you watch WWE and you comment on it because that's clearly your preferred brand anyway. Like,
yeah. It's just like it's wild. Like, well, I mean, you want to be a sports journalist, you have the easiest sports journalist job. You've only got to watch like 4 hours a week. If you're a football
yeah.
journalist, I mean, yeah, you're only working
Oh my
like six
God.
months a year, but holy shit,
Yeah.
how much football do you got to watch? You got to
Yeah.
watch like 16 games a week,
Yeah,
15,
or at the
16
very
games
least
a
catch
week.
up on Sports Center
Yeah. And that's
if you
in
don't work
hours
for
of
them.
Sports Center
Yeah.
every week. Like
Yeah.
I know sports journalists who are on the local level who literally have 3 TVs going all the fucking time. And I'm like, how do you do this?
I don't know. That's overstimulation for me.
Yeah, and these guys like that's what they do though, and he's like
And
complaining
they've
about
trained themselves to pay attention to everything, which is legitimately really impressive, actually.
It is impressive. It is impressive. Maybe he doesn't have the capacity to do that. It doesn't seem like he's got the capacity
I know I
to
don't,
like
but
two
I
wrestling
admit that I
companies at
don't.
the same time.
You and I will admit that we don't have the capacity.
Oh yeah,
to
I
do
don't.
that,
I don't.
which
I
is
don't
why
have
we
the
don't do that.
Yeah,
So
I watch AEW. If you want me to watch something else, that isn't one of my usual something else's, like Wrestle Kingdom or Super Juniors. Like if it isn't something like that, or or Dark Side of the Ring. Good luck. Good luck. I'm gonna have to find time. I'm gonna have to find time. But you know what? Honestly, as far as Alvarez and Meltzer go, until y'all give Maya World and Mercedes a star rating, you can kiss my ass.
yeah, it's true. It's
what
true.
it is. Just what it is.
I will say, I'm in Dave's corner on this one for just calling him out on it. Like Alvarez was just like, I don't want to like belabor the point. We've got to actually talk about the show at some point, but I will say this: Alvarez was complaining that it was too much wrestling. It was too much. It was a 3-hour show. They only advertised as a 2.5-hour show, and then he goes on to say, "Well, it's a street fight, but you say everything goes, but then there's rules." It's like they both agreed on the no outside interference thing before the street fight rule was added.
Yeah.
It was already in place. It wasn't the other way around.
Yeah.
And if you had paid attention, that would be very, very obvious. It would be very evident, and you wouldn't have such cognitive dissonance. Ya dum dum. So I don't know what to say. Like,
He's a dumb
it sounds to me like he needs to either stick with one brand and just do that, or just not watch anything at all and just take a vacation. Look in a mirror, listen to recent recordings of himself, and take some time to reflect. Ah, man, that does sound like a cranky old man who just doesn't like what he does anymore. I wonder what that means. We love this stuff. We don't get paid to do this.
No.
It'd be great if we did, but we don't get paid to do this. We do this for the love of the game, baby.
Right? I do this because I love wrestling and I love hanging out with my buddy Adam. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, that's why I do this. And like, we have definitely, we put out a bunch of money to do this. But we don't get paid. Like, we don't pull in, like, we have sponsors, but like, these are like my friends who help spread our, like, it's pre-promotion that we're getting out of the deal, like, so
it's a symbiotic like, relationship that doesn't cost either side anything.
Exactly. So, like, yeah, we got some sponsors, but they just help us out by, spread the word and get new listeners to come in here, and they do. So, fuck, if I got as much, like, Dave and Brian make a fucking living doing this.
I couldn't imagine.
I would love to make a living doing this.
I don't want to do as much work as they do, though. Watch as much stuff as they do. As much as Meltzer does. Holy crap!
I would never. How he does it?
He must have like bone crunching arthritis at this point for how much he types. Like carpal tunnel syndrome. He probably doesn't have any tunnel left in his carpals.
We definitely wouldn't be doing any print journalism. We would just do more podcasts and videos and stuff like that. We would just do more like YouTube content and stuff. Yeah. Like, oh, hey, we're going to get together and do a top 10 list on Tuesdays from now on.
I tell you what,
that's probably all we would add to our, like.
If I win the Powerball tonight, that $900 million Powerball or is it Mega? I can't remember what it is. If I win that tonight, this is gonna be what I do. Like, we'll just fund this and we'll just have the slush fund to create it. We'll never take another sponsor ever again that would offer to pay us, because why would we need to?
Right.
We would just do this for kicks,
for shits and gigs. Like, like, hi, welcome to the Bills Paid Wrestling Fan Podcast.
For real. Maybe we'll change it to it. We'll do it every day.
Yeah, we'll do it every day. I could do this for a couple hours a day and not be mad at all.
Yeah.
I could edit every day. That wouldn't make me upset.
We would do it like every weekday, and then have weekends off. This would be our job. Like a normal person, we'd still have Wednesday, weekends off, so we could actually go. Oh, if we had that kind of money, we'd just go fly and attend every pay-per-view. That's just what we would do.
Just do a live.
For real. We would become cult fans. We get front row seats to every event. We would wear the same stuff to every event. We'd be the new sign guy Dudley or whatever. Like, it would, or hat guy or Vladimir or whatever. Like, we would be those guys.
Who's the guy in 12A with the vulgar signs every goddamn week?
No, we don't want to get kicked out. Like,
no. It'd be funny AEW sicko related shit. Like, if Don Callis eats a hot dog, is that cannibalism?
That's a good one.
See,
I like that.
Like that. Yeah. See, so. Or just sitting behind the commentators with the fucking Botchamania.
And you best believe if that happens, we're going to Arena Mexico.
Fuck yeah.
Because this crowd was awesome, and the match that kicked it off. Did you see that segue there? Oh, yeah, babe.
I love it.
There we go. Young Bucks, Cage and Coat versus Moxley, Yuta, Garcia, and Pac. They knew every word to Metalingus,
Yep.
which is funny because Metalingus isn't a real word.
No.
And yet they learned the song. It was great hearing it in that accent. I thought it was awesome. They popped bigger for Christian than I anticipated.
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa, they really like
That's
Christian."
pretty awesome.
Apparently, Mexico has some daddy issues that we were not aware
I don't know
of.
their issues. And the Young Bucks, were definitely over. And then Death Riders come out, unafraid of the Mexican crowd. Not sure if that's a smart idea, but they were, and they didn't suffer for it. So there you go.
This may be the first arena. So speaking of the Death Riders entrance, this may be the first arena I have seen them compete in. I didn't notice it last time they were at Arena Mexico, but they have bottle catchers around the entrance.
Yeah.
So that chain link, folks, is colloquially known as a bottle catcher, because in Mexico, you could get everything, including a cinder block, thrown at you. And those are good ways to get there. Those are on every exit to the arena. And that's how you can get out. And if you're getting shit thrown at you, you've got a place to hide and maybe not get hit with as much shit. But you're still, but yeah, those
soften the blow.
Yeah, they do it in Puerto Rico too, but mostly Mexico and Puerto Rico. You don't really see it a whole lot of other places.
Those Hispanic fans are passionate.
But yes, they're passionate.
I love it. I love the passion. Rabid, I don't like the danger, feral. But I love the passion.
Yeah. They're like the feral wife of wrestling fans. So,
the match, predictably, was real good.
It was fun. It was real fun.
Everybody hated Yuta, but everybody hated Pac more because he came out with the English football kit.
Oh yeah, they hated that, man. I mean, a lot of clothes-based heat this week.
Mm-hmm. He wore the same kit on a CMLL show later that week.
Oh,
still in the arena.
Still got hella heat for that too.
Yep.
Yeah. Hella heat.
But yeah, this was fun. It was cool to see Cage specifically, crossing one off of his bucket list that we talked about last week. It was very, very cool because you can tell that he was in his feels. He was loving every second of this. Moment of the match for me, though, was the booter to the cooter on the outside. I'm not going to do the other thing that rhymes.
This shit was fucking
But you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, dude, Excalibur made ribs for me. He's like, I believe that was some kind of punt, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, that shit was funny. She slapped him, and I was like, he's definitely going to hit her because it's Christian Cage. And then he kicked her. And I was like,
you look at it like he doesn't. I think she dared him to just do it straight up for real because he didn't pull that kick at all.
Yeah,
you look at that video, and you see it from her backside. You can see his foot come up between her legs and eclipse the bottom of her butt, and stop. He punted her for real, probably at her insistence. Knowing Marina Shafir.
Yeah, if I know Marina Shafir at all, I don't, by the way. But just based on her character and the things I've seen her do on Cameo as herself, I'm sure she took that and was like,
Her resting attitude is do it. You won't. That's like her resting
certainly
attitude.
Will in character and probably in person also.
Yeah.
Like in real life. Yeah, like he will, he's one of those guys oh, don't tell me I won't, because I will, and she's like, you won't.
Yeah.
So there we are.
But yeah, that was the highlight for me. Especially retroactively, because I got into it with somebody, some shit lib on Blue Sky. And then that dovetailed into me getting put on a list for people who use shit lib as a pejorative. So
it is a pejorative. Thank you for noticing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it was. I believe the list here. Let me look up the list.
I'm on that same list.
Yeah,
I know exactly which list. Death, whatever that guy's name is.
People who use shitlib as a pejorative and other know nothings.
Oh, I know a lot, sir.
I called them out. I posted the screenshot of it. I'm like, this is the reason that you can't find common cause with us is because of your arrogance and your humility issues. Like the thing that makes a shit lib, that defines a shit lib, that makes them that, the only thing that separates them from a regular liberal is their arrogance. You are not you're just a regular liberal if you truly believe what you're saying and you want to find common cause and you are teachable. And you want to listen. If you don't want to listen, if you hold those values and then poo-poo anybody else who doesn't want to listen to anybody from any other side of everything, who wants to stick their nose up in the air and say, "Oh, we told you so," and keeps, thinking that everything since 9/11 that neoliberalism has brought us hasn't led us to this moment in time, who can't stop sniffing their own fucking farts. That's what makes you a shit lib. It's the arrogance.
Heavy on the shitty person.
Yeah. There's a reason that the left uses that term and the right doesn't.
Mm-hmm. The right finds common cause with you. How does that feel?
Well, not only that, but they go to actually more offensive terms,
Yeah. If
or
I
at the
call
very
you
least,
shit lib, it's because you're being an asshole. I mean,
yeah,
that's simple.
They'll just call you a lib. Yeah. Something else I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
But a
real pejorative term that actually hurts like a group of people who have feelings,
who can't defend themselves,
and they can't defend themselves. You, on the other hand, like I'm sorry, if you think shit lib is a pejorative term and that's a reason to call me a know nothing and put me on some list where your buddies will block me, good.
Okay, whatever.
Fuck
good.
you.
I don't want to hear
fuck you, you and fuck them and fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm all for the CPs, the cunt punts. I'll say it, damn it, the cunt punts. Yeah. This was a great cunt punt, and I'm sorry, but Marina Shafir is like the toughest woman on this broadcast on any given week. And if you want to tell me that this is bad for her, fuck you. She probably insisted on it, just like we already said. Yeah. It was probably her fucking idea. If we want to be real. And
they probably needed a way for the baby faces, to get a hope spot, because you always know that Marina is hanging around. As it stands, this served as an effective. Oh, the baby faces might win here because Marina is definitely out for the count.
Yeah.
As it stands, it wasn't, and the baby faces took the loss here due to miscommunication.
Yeah.
After Moxley sells and sells and sells for everybody on that team, like he did a lot of work in this match.
He was doing a lot of bumps. He definitely did his bump drills during this match. Golly.
For sure. I think he wanted to prove that mantra about how elevation is a myth, or training at elevation, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's exactly how he put it, but he's like, I mean, that's easy for somebody to say whose home is in Las Vegas and already works at elevation.
Right.
Like, come on. Like, maybe have a little bit more self-awareness, but I get it. It's his character.
I can tell you straight up that I have had altitude sickness, and I can get in more reps. Yeah, I down here at in Texas, I can get more reps in than I can when I'm in Colorado Springs or Denver, because it's a lot higher and the air is a lot thinner, and it's a lot more taxing. I don't have to work out as long up there. About half the time I have to work out down here because I know why there's an Olympic training facility up there.
Yeah. I mean, for God's sake, what was it? It was England in the World Cup got special permission to use Viagra, not for boners, but to
blood pressure.
Blood pressure, which was, ironically enough, its original intended use.
Yeah.
Before they realized it had the side effect of creating erections out of thin air. Priapism. Yes. Yeah. I mean, sure, if you want to not be funny about it. But yeah, I mean, and look at what happened to them. They actually took that game, and Pac certainly didn't let this crowd forget it.
I
So
could just imagine them England running around the field, winning a soccer game, looking like Andrade.
yeah.
Since I don't want to be funny about it, you bastard.
Well, a lot of them didn't really look like. Some of them looked like Andrade. A lot of them looked more like you and me, though. I'll just leave that at that. That was a white person joke.
We can tell those because we's white peoples.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm half a white person,
son.
but I can still tell white people joke.
Yeah, you get the privilege. Fact of the matter is, I go outside for any longer than 30 minutes, and I wind up looking like Sinestro. So
Rob Star.
yeah. So, but yeah, what is it? Cope rolls up Mox for the win, or Mox rolls up Cope for the win. I think it is.
Yeah.
Holds the tights. After doing a Naga knocker with Matt Jackson. So miscommunication. Sowing some friction between the two teams going after the World Tag Team belts at All In. Slow burn. I like it. After that was the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet. And this match ruled predictably. Like Andrade El Idolo, your national champion, versus Tommaso Ciampa, who's been on an incredible role for the past 6 months. Commander, who just he loses all the time, but who cares? He's awesome. Nobody walks the ropes and does the things that he does. It's always a pleasure. He was here to take the pin, predictably. Yeah. Andrade pinned him for the win, but there was all sorts of dives and Ciampa continuing his feud with inanimate objects. This time it was Andrade's pants. It was his pants.
Yeah, Ciampa beat the shit out them pants, man. Didn't help him in the end, but he beat the shit out them pants.
Somebody brought it up on Blue Sky. If he continues this feud against inanimate objects, ultimately it has to lead to a match with Yoshihiko.
I mean, he could win that DDT Iron Man Championship, I guess.
He's bringing it stateside. You never know.
Oh man.
But yeah, this is great. We'll try and speed through this because we've already kind of jacked jaws about unrelated stuff. But Andrade got the selfie moment, and then Tommaso blasted him from behind, took a selfie with that same fan, and then swiped her camera, went to the apron so everybody could see him do this, and then took a picture of his junk, and then tossed the camera back to her. What a heel. Grossness. But what a heel.
Does that count as unsolicited?
She was a plant, so...
Okay, yeah, I guess.
I mean, he's a family man. I guarantee you he pantomimed it. It wasn't real.
Oh, of course not, but...
But, I mean, what a way to get some heat, right? I can honestly say I've never seen that. I've never seen it before.
No, I've never seen somebody take a dick pic and throw the... Yeah, it's new to me.
And it was nude to her. So, after the most important thing was the finish of the match was Commander looked like he might actually win. He hit the Cielito Lindo on Ciampa, but then Andrade came up from behind, hit Commander with the DM, and pinned him.
Yeah.
And after that, he gets on the mic, cuts the promo, talks about how he's going to go to All In and, capture the world championship once he wins that contract and cashes in. And then MJF's music hits. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's where you've been. You've been missing for a month.
Yeah.
And predictably, he doesn't show up on the ramp. He blasts Andrade from behind with the Triple B.
Yeah.
Which makes sense that he would still have it. Sort of. Only sort of. Because Kenny Omega actually had it, and then the Young Bucks presented him with the one with the black strap. So I don't know how he got his hands back on the Triple B that was discarded by the Young Bucks. but to a degree, at least it makes sense that he would have it.
Yeah.
He blasts him. He takes back his diamond ring and then hits him with it, and then cuts a promo on that piece of trash in the ring. He's going insane, talking about how he never really lost, and how, as far as he's concerned, the only world title belt in AEW is the Triple B, and that he's going to prove it when he enters the Casino Gauntlet at All In. He's going to fight for that second spot next week on Dynamite. His opponents will be discussed in a few minutes, but he says that he's going to do that, and he's going to do the same thing they did last year. He's going to do it, win the thing, cash it in, and unify the titles or whatever. So it appears that he's doing the real world champion thing again.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
man. So this
at least he's being psycho about it.
He wanted to. Yeah, I mean, he was just on Chris Van Vliet or something like that, calling CM Punk an asshole, and here he is playing his very last AEW gimmick.
Unless maybe he's doing it specifically to do it better, to show him up. That's very maybe. MJF.
Maybe.
And might still be TK.
Maybe.
I don't know. Might still be petty TK. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. After that, we've got our women's trios match with the Willow and the Birds versus Mercedes and Divine Dominion.
And this slapped too.
Yeah,
and the
I
crowd
had fun with this one.
Crowd was super into these girls. They were up and down the ramp and stuff. It was kind of chaotic, but it was super over.
Hayter really laid Megan out with that fucking clothesline, man. Holy fuck that shit.
Yeah, Hayter just took her head off.
Yeah, man. That thing was snug.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when your opponent is that much bigger than you are, it better be.
Yeah.
If it's gonna look any kind of
looked
decent.
Believable. Yeah. I was like, damn.
I was really surprised that the baby faces went over in this one, honestly. Mercedes was the one to get pinned.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. I was
and
surprised.
With the backslide. I hate the backslide. I love Willow, but I hate the backslide.
Well, I mean,
but at least that she's it's her Tony Storm's big package, right?
Yeah.
If she can't get the babe with the power bomb, she's gonna sneak up and hit you with a super snug backslide.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad it ended that way instead of what it started as, because it started as Mercedes tried to put Willow in that backpack move, and I was just no, this is not fucking happening. No. Like, this better not happen.
I think maybe this was done to establish that Mercedes couldn't win that way.
No.
Like, she wasn't going to win that way.
No.
The funny thing is that, I think she's only made Willow pass out, right? I think she won the TBS title. Did she make her tap, or did she pass out?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't the moneymaker. I think it was the statement maker that made her tap out. I'm going to look it up right here, just in case, because I don't want to be wrong and have somebody come out and be all about it.
Okay.
Let's see. My memory is not what it used to be. She beat her by pinfall, and I remember it being clean, so it must have been with a moneymaker. I feel like that was a bad idea because she couldn't hit it. She can barely hit it on people who don't weigh, more than who don't weigh as much as Mercedes. But regardless, I feel like it was good to establish that wasn't going to do it. Not only from a logistical standpoint, but also because they faced each other a few times now, and Willow actually has the one up on her. If you
Mhm.
think about it, they
Yeah.
would face each other for the first ever New Japan Strong Women's title, and Mercedes got injured in that match. She was supposed
Yeah.
to win. She called the audible in the ring for Willow to win,
Yeah.
but that's still a win in Willow's column.
Yeah.
And then she lost against Mercedes for the TBS title. That made them 1-1. And then so far, I don't think she ever got a rematch until she won it back.
Yeah.
So I want to say that Willow's up 2-1 in the series. So actually, if anybody has Monet's number other than Tony Storm, it's her.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't say that Chris has her number because Chris beat her in defense of the world title, but she took 2 losses to Mercedes over the TBS title earlier
Mhm.
before that. So like Chris is 1-2 against her. So if anybody is her nemesis other than Tony Storm, it would be Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
So if for no other reason, even if it was to a stinking backslide, at least it made sense that Willow is getting out of the moneymaker, and it looks like you're gonna have to do more than that to beat me.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, it was a good match. I had a lot of fun watching it. And
I loved when they were all on the outside as Willow's music was hitting, and Willow was there with Windsor, and then Hayter was like further back up the ramp, but she waited for the right time in the music where like bah! And she like appears out of thin
yeah,
air,
she
like
appeared out of nowhere.
like she seems like so much fun. Like I think actually, as long as it doesn't wind up with me getting beat up, going to the pub with Jamie Hayter sounds like a lot of fun. Actually,
There is a good chance you end up getting beat up though, anyway, and probably just for funsies. Like
yeah,
she
no, I
seems
get
like the
it.
type of person that had trades punches for fun. Like
I mean, that's why one of her teeth is jacked up, probably. So
it does not detract from her appearance
no,
at
no,
all.
no fine.
Um,
Um, this led right into Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball for the international title.
I
And
think Kyle
boy,
Fletcher.
howdy.
I think Kyle Fletcher forgot that the guardrails were permanent installations.
This was who was it? Somebody went in the triple threat. I think I saw Tommaso send Andrade into that guardrail, and I remember seeing when he flipped over it. I remember thinking, I think that's the hardest I've ever seen anybody hit a guardrail ever. That looked devastating. And then people kept testing that theory all night long.
This one, man, this is the worst one by far. He freaking lawn darted him into that
Yeah,
freaking thing,
yeah,
and it
it was
did not
bad.
move. It did not move at all. It's just like
Speedball is
thump,
a tough son of a gun.
dude.
That's
Yeah,
for sure. This one, I mean, this had all the high spots. He kicked out of the brain buster.
dude, I couldn't believe it. I
I
was like, oh
couldn't.
my god.
They had built so much equity into that brain buster. I think the only other person who might have kicked out of it was probably Mark Briscoe somewhere along the way.
Mhm.
But every other person who's been hit by that, to my recollection, has kicked out. And now Speedy kicked out. I'm like, it was no, he might. It made me forget that there's no way that he was going to win this match because that wasn't the match they're building to
Oh
at
man,
all in.
there was a couple
And that
times
was
I
the
thought,
best. I love being tricked like that. That's a
yeah,
good kind of tricking.
yeah.
Make me give it up. Make me suspend my disbelief.
There was a couple times I definitely thought that he was going to win. I was like, oh man, are they really going to do this?
This definitely was the first time anybody's kicked out of the Ultimate Weapon, though. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It took the turnbuckle brainbuster to finally put Bailey away. Which should be the ultimate finisher.
yeah.
Like, I ultimately like there's probably like a trick to it that makes it really, really safe to take. But it looks so dangerous that like if you didn't know the mechanics of it and you just looked at it on its face, be like, why would you do that to another human being? You should be in jail right now. Like
That's fair.
that's attempted murder. Like just insane.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
it
mean,
was crazy, man.
I did feel bad for Speedy though. Like he's like Mr. Almost there.
Yeah.
Like he keeps getting shots at belts and he just can't follow through on it. And then really the one that he should be going after is the TNT title because of the personal problems that he should have with Jet.
Yeah.
But that, as we'll see when we cover Collision, that dance card has been punched by another person.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. Now, while Fletcher's trying to celebrate his win in this match, Okada decides to poo-poo on his parade.
Mm-hmm.
Thus,
the crowd goes bananas for him.
Because, they love it. But
well, I mean, because A, he's Okada, and B, he cut his teeth in CMLL.
Yeah.
Like, he spent a lot of time in Mexico. CMLL and New Japan have a long-standing working relationship. They don't cut into each other's business. So they work a lot with each other and have for years and years.
Yeah.
And so they recognize Okada probably on a different level than, fans from the United States would.
Yeah.
You have a more personal connection to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he comes out and with Kevin Knight, who's back to his old music.
Good.
Yeah. I get where they were going with the one that they debuted on Redemption, but too slow.
Mm-hmm.
Too slow, too laid back. Like I do agree that he needs to change his music because the music he has now doesn't really fit his heel persona.
Yeah.
But what they tried to do, I didn't think really worked all that well. So I'm glad they're back to the drawing board at least. And Hechicero, who was, of course, massively over because Hechicero in Arena Mexico. It's the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion. Like, of course he's going to be over. And then Mystico comes out dressed as an angel.
Yeah.
And makes Kazuchika Okada really mad because he doesn't like when people sing Memuero, apparently.
Apparently not, yeah. It was the whole arena, too.
Or maybe singing in general, because he certainly didn't like it when Jericho came out next as Corazon de Leon, but still coming out to Judas.
Yeah.
They knew all the words to that, too.
Mm.
And then Darby, who somehow was more over than Jericho. Like, almost as over as Mystico, was like, I didn't expect that. Like, but they popped enormously for Darbs.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know what the exposure is of AEW in Mexico, but it seems like it's really good.
It must be. Like, I mean, I know that some of the AEW people have spent a lot. Claudio has a dual contract.
Yeah.
So the Death Riders down there like all the time. Garcia and Yuta are down there all the time. Pac's down there all the time. Less so Moxley. They use some of the same referees. Like Aubrey just did the big show there this week. Oh gosh, I feel like such a terrible wrestling fan for forgetting the Grand Prix.
Yeah,
she refereed the Grand Prix, the main event, the 74-minute main event that Hechicero won. Like
74.
It must have been hotter than hell in that uniform too.
Oh God, I bet
that is a constraining referee's uniform in Mexico City.
Yeah, at altitude in the heat, like man, oh God.
He was in there for 74 minutes. Ludicrous.
I bet that's
absolutely ridiculous. Good for her though.
Oh
I love Aubrey. She deserves the world. Who else spends time down there? Um, I mean, you've got all your dual contracted guys, your Hechiceros and your Persephones and folks like that.
Yeah.
Uh, Mystico and Mascara Dorada. Uh, Nick Wayne's gone down there. Um, Speedy, I don't think he's gone down there a whole lot as a representative of AEW, but I know he's very familiar. He's worked there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Elsewise, uh, them spooky bitches gone
Yeah.
down there. Uh, Tekla was on the team last year for Grand Prix for the women, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
I think she nearly won, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but yeah, like I know that there's like a lot of people that cross over, but it's not the whole roster. So to see some of these people who don't really do the trip all the time to get
Mm.
the reactions that they do really speaks to the strength of the AEW brand in the Mexican market, I
Yeah.
think. Or at least in the Mexico City market. I don't know about the rest of the country, but in that city, they seem to really appreciate that
Yeah.
and them.
I like it. I like when we go to other countries and get huge crowds. It's,
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
you
there were
know,
16,000 packed in there. Like, it was another, I think, near sellout. I don't know if it sold out, but it looked
yeah.
near sellout. I mean, that
But you
arena seats, I think, about 16,000. So,
only 12,000 less heads than SummerSlam. Look at that.
hmm. uh, but yeah, another fun trios match. This one a bit shorter. Um, a lot more like sports entertainment type stuff. But I mean, still fun. Uh, uh, Darby sets up coast to coast, but gets caught with a wicked Judas effect by Chris Jericho
Oh,
in
dude, that was
in
great.
in
It
the
was
the
so
process
great.
of jumping. It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Um, Earlier in the match, Darby went to dive to the outside and got intercepted by a drop kick from Okada that looked like he just about separated his head from his shoulders. Like, oh my god, it looked incredible and awesome and gnarly. Uh, but yeah, the finish came when uh, Jericho had the Lion Tamer on Okada, Mystico had Hechicero and La Mistica, and Darby hit a coffin drop, a single one, just a single coffin drop on Kevin Knight for the win. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that'll set up what we talked about a little earlier. Um, Next was the other women's on the match on the card, Persephone versus Chris Statlander. I think this is where people started to get tired a little bit
A
in the
little bit.
crowd. That doesn't weigh on the the match in terms of uh, technical skill or whatever. Good match. Um, Persephone looked a lot more at home here. She always looks very comfortable in the ring, but like you could tell she was excited to do this in Arena Mexico. Like
Yeah.
she really, really wanted this to come off good, come off well. And Chris Statlander, who I don't think we've seen since in a wrestling ring competing since the TBS title Survival of the Fittest match. So far as I know, I think close to a month
Yeah.
prior to this. Um, it was good to see her. Would she stop switching up her theme though? Like, how many entrance themes has this girl had? Like,
Oh no, it's a lot.
I get wanting to constantly mix up your presentation. The Chris Jericho method. Something's getting stale. You tweak it, you change it. But like, I can like the she hasn't changed enough about her presentation to warrant a music change.
Yeah.
The music change in and of itself can't be the change. It has to accompany a change. It can't be the
Yeah.
change. So nothing really is different about her presentation other than the fact that she apparently is cosplaying as Nova now, or something. I'm like, I that's a Marvel character. You are partnered with Warner Brothers, so you should pick a DC property and not a Marvel superhero. Uh, don't think I don't see that. Don't recognize it. I know you like space and everything, but you can't just rip off Nova's insignia on your chest and expect the comic nerds not to notice and not to point this out, because we are pedantic. So this was good, though. I like the use of Thunder Rosa on the outside. She just won the CMLL Mexican National Women's Championship, so she was ringside momentarily, and they had some interplay back and forth. She factored into the win. It looks like they're gearing up some sort of match between probably both a tag team match in AEW with Thunder Rosa teaming up with Chris Statlander to take on Hikaru Shida and Persephone, and in CMLL a champion versus champion match with Thunder Rosa versus Persephone.
Yeah, that'd be a good one, I think.
I like it when they can, build multiple things in the same thing, in the same angle.
Right.
But yeah, there was a ton of outside interference, distraction-wise kind of thing. Shida gets involved to give Persephone the win.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad for, because she's been taking too many L's, in my opinion. Give her, if you're going to give her a win, let it be in Arena Mexico, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they went with that.
After that, we've got the good, the bad, and the ugly versus the Demand. And you called it, man. You called it.
Yep, I did.
I was really surprised, even thinking that it might happen. I was like, oh, well, that really happened, didn't it?
You got to remember, Hangman. From multiple angles, but especially the most practical one. As soon as Hangman cut that promo in Spanish in Arena Mexico last year, CMLL was begging to have. Went over so well that they were begging to book Adam Page.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he didn't, maybe he just didn't have the time or whatever. He wanted to spend time with his family. He's got like 3 kids now. So I get it. But they were begging to have him back. And here it is a year later, they finally do. They're pairing him with the Abolish ICE guy and possibly the most over Mexican luchador on the AEW roster.
Yeah.
And the Ring of Honor World Champion at the time, too. Yeah. So, they could not have lined up the stars any more clearly to me. It was like, okay, this is what's happening. They're going to pull the trigger on this and really, really give the Mexico City crowd a big moment.
Man, when the Mexican crowd is chanting cowboy shit in English.
Yeah. In English.
I was like, holy crap, man. Like, okay. All right. I was like, damn, they really do like Hangman.
Despite his fears, it didn't seem like the mariachi outfits that they wore. It didn't really seem to offend anybody in that crowd. So
no,
you're good, Hanger. You're good.
It was over as fuck with the mariachi shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it. I absolutely. Great. Their entrance was so cool. Yeah, I am admittedly a sucker for a mariachi band. I think they're freaking rad. So I really love the entrance for that alone. But this was like it was all killer, no filler in this match, like so many other matches on this card. Mm-hmm. It was just like full bore, boom, 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 boom. Move, sequence, and nobody looked bad here. Everybody got some stuff in. I do feel bad for Gates of Agony that they wound up only having like a week's long reign, but I think that you can probably switch the titles back and forth. Like I was talking on Blue Sky earlier this week. I think honestly, given the inherently chaotic nature of trios matches in general, if there was a hot potato division, it probably should be the trios title, right?
Yeah,
Like
that
that
would
should
be
be
the
the
one right
division
now. Yeah,
where it changes like all the time. Like, so why not have them bounce the belts back and forth a few times? Why not?
yeah,
Who cares? As long as you don't do it with every belt, you know, it can be the thing that finally kind of defines that division.
yeah,
So, you know, that is so hotly contested and these matches are so chaotic that, you know, anything can happen.
yeah.
Ah, you might see a title change if those belts are on the line specifically. You
Right.
never know.
Oh, but yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I thought the buckshot lariat and 21 plex together was just
Mwah.
A plus shit, man. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good shit. Especially together.
Toliona. Samoan dropping three people at the same time.
Yeah, that shit was pretty
That's
awesome.
like 750 pounds. Like it was. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my entire life. I've seen two. I've never seen three guys
No, I've never
before.
seen three.
Toliona is a monster.
Dude, yeah, that guy's wild.
Holy cow! Like I it seemed to me that there was an extra fire lit under the gates of agony. I don't think that they, you know, they're team players, but I really don't think that they felt like they got a proper run with them, and they were trying to show out here to kind of prove their worth. I kind of got that undercurrent, be like, well, if we're gonna go out, we're gonna look as good as we possibly can, so that in the future we get another consideration.
Yeah, and they did look good.
And holy hell, did they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, no, this was fantastic. And then Hanger did the most awkward Macarena I think I've ever seen.
It was pretty awkward. It was. Um,
And I thought, and I thought Brody King's Macarena was awkward. No, no, at least he has a little bit of rhythm, you know,
yeah,
being in a band and everything.
he can
So
definitely do things on beat. So
yeah,
yeah,
Hanger did not have that rhythm.
yeah. Then we get to our main event. We got Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis in a no outside interference Mexico City street fight. And I think my most memorable part of this match was absolutely Will Ospreay picking up that fork because holy fuck, he like just
He
stabbed.
went
That
he
was a
went full
prison
Moxley
style
on it.
shanking, dude. He shanked him like they were in a prison yard. He just
Yeah,
ah.
this is what happens when you're in there with your best friend.
Oh God.
You know,
Uh
like best friends usually in wrestling usually have such chemistry that they will, you know, when they're put in some kind of stipulation, you know, they're just going to agree to trust each other to do just the gnarliest stuff to each other.
oh God, that fork was just the gnarliest shit, dude. It
You know
was
what?
so
You know what really surprised me was that what I think my favorite thing about Arena Mexico structurally is those big stairs. I love the stairs.
yeah,
It grants this whole like this air of, you know, this is the big fight, like this is the big event that you're here to see
yeah,
because of those stairs. I don't know what it is, you know, because maybe it's the height, the extra height that it adds. You know, you're introduced to them at that extra height as opposed to ground level. I don't know what it is, but I love those stairs. And during the trios match with the Don Callis family and the weird trio of Mystico, Jericho, and Darby, I just naturally assumed, oh, those are stairs, and Darby's in this match. Darby's going down those stairs, and he didn't. And I know
yeah,
why, because Ospreay was going to do it.
dude. Oh God, that was pretty brutal looking too. Like he did not
Jeez
take that
Louise.
shit
Nope,
gracefully at all.
nope, nope. I was cringing the entire time.
He hit every branch of that ugly tree on the way down. Holy
Yeah.
fuck, man. God, that shit. But still, I don't know, man. Like when Mark Davis drug that fork across his forehead, I was like,
Ugh.
that's gross. And then when Osprey got, I was like, oh well, he's just gonna do the same thing.
No,
Nope,
no,
nope. And
that was
like,
something we picked up from the Death Riders.
I know something is like bad, like because I'm desensitized to it from watching for so long. A lot of things like the power tools still no, but that's because of bad viewing before.
Because it's a power tool.
Yeah, because well, power tools and GCW or whoever it was back in it, CZW, way too
DCW.
much of that shit.
Yeah.
But when my 18-year-old son pokes his head up out of his phone and goes, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Like I know that's something crazy is happening on the TV screen, and I'm just watching Will Ospreay pound that thing into his forehead like he's freaking burying posts for a fence. I was just like, oh my God. And then, like, it wasn't no bullshit, eat little fucking fork pokes
Nope.
either. Mark Davis immediately started bleeding buckets of fucking blood from
Yeah.
that shit.
They went nearly the full Muda here.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't quite that level, but it was damn close.
We were getting real
Um
close. Yeah.
uh at one point early in the match, Will Ospreay decides to use a tire that's there randomly. Unsuccessfully, I might add.
Yeah.
He paid for it by getting slammed on it immediately after. But like, why was there a tire there? Like, if it's there, use it. I'm not against the use of it. I'm just wondering why.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, this was all kinds of crazy, absolutely nuts
Doing the
stuff.
face rake with the forearm covered in barbed wire.
Yeah, like,
Oh
oh
my
my
God,
god,
dude. Like, what the hell? Like, this was just fucking
Mark Davis
wild.
did not come off looking like a loser here.
No,
Let me
not at
tell you
all.
that. He can't. I mean, the more they put him in these situations where he looks like this just absolute monster, the more you're building him up to be like, okay, this guy's going to be a player in the future.
Yeah.
Like he's at. I mean, he took a different route to get there, and he has much different style. But he's at the point now where Fletcher was like a year and a half ago. You know,
Yeah.
and Fletcher, if he's not the world champion within a year of this podcast, I will probably, give myself food poisoning and die of self-imposed diarrhea. Like it's just like I can't fathom Kyle Fletcher not being world champion within a year.
You heard it here, folks. If Kyle Fletcher is not champion the next 365 days, Adam's going to eat a salad.
This is a non-binding agreement. There's nothing legal about this. This is not a binding contract of any legal standing. Please don't hold me to that. Hopefully our salads will be safe by then.
Oh God, I hope.
Uh
But yeah, that was so. Yeah, Osprey gets the win with a barbed wire covered hidden blade
you all
after like multiple pile drivers and hidden blades had already happened. We were on like
yeah,
our third hidden blade.
there was the one awful waffle that he hit that just I thought, like, oh my, how do you even survive that? Like, it was a, I mean, if you're not familiar with it, Chuck Taylor innovated the move so far as I can tell. Certainly named it. It's a reverse body slam into a pile driver. Like, ugh. What? How is that not like the most dangerous thing that you can think of to do to a person with your bare hands?
Yeah.
This side of like strangling them. Like, right. I don't. But like, Will Ospreay's that dude.
Yeah,
he's that dude. They're establishing him as that dude and that dangerous dude at that. Pardon me. So yeah, that was your closer. Was a bloody Will Ospreay standing over a somehow even bloodier Mark Davis. Ooh, what a night, man! That was such a great Dynamite all-timer right there.
So here we go for this week. My wife is turning into a sicko. Now,
Yes.
so
One of us.
remember
One of us. One of
last week or the
us.
week before, I told you the story about how it was Dougzilla, right?
Yes, yes.
Now she's doing that shit just to irritate me. So now she's like,
Oh,
"Oh, look, it's Dougzilla," and I'm like, "Oh God, you know who the fuck that is?" Don't you? And she's just like,
she's just doing it
she's,
to needle
oh
you.
God, she is definitely turning into a little sicko because that is definitely some shit an AEW fan would do. Like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, that irritates you on purpose, does it? Okay,
there's
okay.
a playful troll inside nearly every sicko.
Yeah, there is, and complimentary guys, complimentary.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're all a bunch of
y'all know
dicks.
what you're doing.
You're not, but you know what you're doing. And she has got that exact same kind of like little humor, and she fucking hit me with it today. I was like, I don't even know what to say to you right now. She's just laughing. So maybe the kayfabe's coming off her. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
But anyway, then we go to an actual different location for Collision this week.
yeah.
Colorado Springs, Colorado. So normally I would have just been at this show and I'd be recording right now from Colorado, but I'm going to Riot Fest a little bit later, like a few weeks from now. And
Sorry about Morrissey predictably dropping out.
did he?
I that's what I heard.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if he did whatever, I wasn't going to go see him anyway. If it was the Smiths, we'd be talking a different story. But I don't. I, Morrissey's the kind of vegan who'll slap a burger out of your hand and then get beat up for it. So I'm really not like I'm not really into Morrissey as a person. I don't care
Oh,
beyond
he's
his
if
music.
universally despised as a
Yeah.
person.
So if it was the Smiths, we'd be talking different. But it's just Morrissey. Saturday night's main events are Morrissey and Tool. Those are two crowds of fans I tend to avoid like the plague. So I will be probably just super high at the back of the venue, watching, like listening to Tool, but trying really hard not to interact with their fans. I find their drummer to be one of the best on the planet, but I just don't really like their fans.
Yeah.
Sorry if you listen to us and you're a Tool fan. Um, like
Why are you a fan of tools?
the merchandising alone and the way it makes you look when you wear it should tell you what they think of their fans. I don't feel like it's a very high opinion, personally.
Yeah.
Um, that and Maynard's like a well-known dick in the music industry. So something I can say with 100% confidence because he is, in fact, a dick. Um, but like, if it, like I told my wife, I was like, if it was a perfect circle in the Smiths, we'd be on. We'd be on. I'd be all in that shit. But it's not. It's Tool and Morrissey, and I don't care. So if Morrissey dropped out, there's another act that was right below him on the list that could take that spot that nobody would bat an eye at. Also, that frees me up because he was playing at the same time as Bowling for Soup or some shit like that, and I would rather go see Bowling for Soup personally. Texas punk band, old school guys like that. They're my era Texas punk. So, and super famous. They just did a remake of Where's the Love with Hanson. That is like one of the coolest. Yeah,
Huh.
I know it sounds weird, but Hanson and Bowling for Soup, Where's the Love? It's a remake of an old Hanson song that I actually liked back when it came out, and I really surprise, the dickhead of the podcast was a Hanson fan. A little bit. They wrote good music. I didn't give a fuck about their shit in Teen Beat or whatever. They wrote good fucking music, and aside from Umbop. But their other
They're
albums were really
talented
good.
musicians.
They are talented
I mean,
musicians,
they've
and
been doing
this,
it their entire lives.
yeah. Well, this version they did with Bowling for Soup is like a punked out version of Where's the Love, but they're still singing on it and playing on it, and it's a really great like two bands coming together to make a cool song, a little punk cover of one of their own songs. So it's totally signed off on, and they're in it still.
Yeah.
So cool shit, but yeah, I mean, cool. Morrissey's not there. That's less traffic I have to wait through to go see Bowling for Soup. I don't know what to say. But yeah. So here in a few weeks, we'll be skipping an episode, guys, just so y'all know, because I will be completely incommunicado for like a whole week while I go to this festival. And that's mostly for my wife's sanity. We're going to finally go on a vacation where the phones don't ring. She's a restaurant manager, so the phone be ringing when we're on vacation, and I just ain't having it. So we're getting far enough away that she can't come back, even if they asked her to. And we're just like turning the phones off and doing all that shit. Gonna go do a bunch of cool Chicago shit.
You should
So
ask them if you see them too. You should ask Bowling for Soup to play Alexa Bliss.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will, and I like that song personally. So
the
uh,
the chorus is a little janky, but yeah, I mean it's
yeah.
fun.
Mhm. It was
I
cool
think
that
it
they
was
wrote
cool
a
that
song
they
about her
wrote.
and got her to be in the fucking music video too.
Well,
So,
she's a huge fan of theirs, so
oh,
it
I didn't
was
know that. I
mutual. Like,
didn't know she was a
oh
big
yeah,
deal.
yeah. Like I remember seeing some like WWE like YouTube video about it, about how she was a huge fan of theirs growing up, and so I think one of the I can't remember if it's the lead singer of the band, but somebody in the band is a huge wrestling fan,
It's like all of them, I
and
think.
so yeah, so they found out, they really liked her, and they found out that she liked them, so they wrote the song for her, and she was, I mean, obviously over the moon to be in the video that they to a song that they wrote about her.
I mean,
Like
that's cool. Oh
that's the
yeah,
dream right there, isn't it?
yeah, it
Like
is.
who can hate that?
Also, for the podcast listeners who care, I might run into CM Punk. It's a long running thing where Riot Fest has a banned items list, and one of the banned items on the Riot Fest banned items list is CM Punk. Because it's an in joke between them. It's the first time he ever went to Riot Fest. He snuck in to hang out with Lars Fredrickson from Rancid
Because they're like
because they're
besties.
buddies. Yeah, they're like besties. But now he's apparently a frequent attendee and regular appearance on stage with certain bands, and
Yeah.
it's a long running joke that on the banned items list, the very last thing on the list is CM Punk. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, so I'm not gonna see him anytime I'm in Chicago. And then they were like, oh no, it's like a joke, and he talks about it too. So like I've seen plenty of media on it now, but yeah, like it's a big thing. And I was like, that'd be cool just to run into him at, watching some of my favorite bands. But with his status, he's probably standing in places that I won't have access to.
He'll be
So
backstage. You
yeah,
kidding me?
if I got the money, I'm
He'll be
upgrading to the
just off stage
backstage.
left.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so like I'm gonna have a little bit of fun in a few weeks. We'll probably skip an episode then just to, like kind of like we did when Adam got to go to Double or Nothing. We allow each other to go have fun. We're not like, assholes to one
Yeah,
another about our vacations.
yeah,
So, uh, but yeah, into Collision from Colorado Springs. I did not get to attend. I know a bunch of people who were in attendance. Some of my friends were sitting in the very front row of this show, which was cool getting pictures of that.
yeah. I
um,
bet.
but yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this one. And we kick it off with the beginning of the Continental Cup, which people kept calling the Continental Classic all over this
Yeah,
show. Like it's like they
yeah.
couldn't get their branding right.
You know
We're
what the
still going
funny
to
thing
have the
is?
C2, right? Like this isn't precluding the
Yes.
C2.
No, this is in addition.
Okay.
Uh,
So
the funny thing is, the only person who got it technically correct was Arcadiara,
yeah,
because she called it the Continental Challenge Cup, which it is because the label, the logo says that. The
yeah,
logo for the tournament says that. So that is the official name. You can call it the Continental Cup because, as shorthand, fine, whatever.
yeah,
But the actual name, the only person who has said the actual name correctly every single time is Arcadiara. Whenever she announced on Collision this week that this match was a first round match in the Continental Challenge Cup.
yeah.
So good on you, Arcady. As a pedant, I really, really enjoy your stickler mentality towards the details.
Yeah. And this first match was Claudio versus Ace Austin. And honestly, I expected a lot less of a showing out of Ace Austin. But once again, Tony Khan proves that with tournaments, all bets are off as far as your position
All
on the
bets are
card.
off because
And
it's not so much about the stories as it is. Between the competitors, as it is
yeah,
about the story of how you get through the tournament, and how
yeah.
you get through the tournament is by putting on awesome performances.
And this one, Ace Austin put himself up a peg or two with me. with
Those
this
friggin'
showing against
thighs, dude.
Claudio. Dude, that guy does not miss leg day. He might miss arm day, but he does not miss leg day. Every
Can we
time I
also
see him, it
talk?
reminds me of that picture of that biker dude. Like it's like the picture of the kid, the cyclist kid who has the really giant legs. And I'm just like, every
Yeah,
time I see him, I'm like, God, he has like the biggest freaking legs I've ever seen. It's like a Hulk
yeah,
Hogan arms for
right.
legs. Like,
I can we talk too about how this is the third week in a row, third or fourth week in a row, I think, on Collision that they've had Paul White at the desk.
I'm really enjoying that.
I I like I would like to see that 3-man team become a permanent fixture on Collision. I think
Yeah,
Paul adds a lot, honestly.
I think he
I
does
like
too.
Paul. I like
Um,
Paul on commentary a lot more than I thought I would,
like I like
honestly.
Nigel being on commentary as like
Yeah.
the veteran voice or whatever,
Oh
but
yeah.
like I real like Paul also provides a veteran voice from like a completely different standpoint, like
Yeah.
and
Well, they're
I
two very different wrestlers who took very different paths. So
yeah,
they have
and
very different experiences.
yeah, and I like the way they play off each other because
Yeah.
like Nigel wants to needle at him, but he knows better than to needle too hard because that is a
Yeah.
7 foot monster still sitting next to him,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Shivani playing basically being a ping pong ball in between them because he was getting corrected all night long.
Yeah.
And even like I feel like we're getting more and more evidence for Shivani maybe hanging it up soon before it gets
I would very much like to see him
embarrassing.
stick around in interviewer capacity.
Oh yeah, I would love
Much
that, but not
like
maybe
those
not on the
sit down
desk.
interviews that JR used to do.
Yes,
Put Shivani in
exactly
that
like that.
role
Yeah, let's do that.
and do
Let's
them
do
more often.
yeah, do them way more often,
Do them
but
way
do them
more
with
often and have
Shivani.
Shivani do them.
And Shivani has a super good rapport with like the ladies too, so he could do the ladies ones that
Oh
Renee
yeah,
does. As if
for
Renee doesn't have
sure.
enough screen time, she does. So
Yeah.
we could easily give the ladies interviews like that to Shivani also because he has a historically good relationship with the ladies in the ladies division. So
Yeah, I mean, despite the generation that he comes from and the habits that just slip in every now and then, he seems to be a very non-toxic presence.
mm-hmm.
Like he's happy to be there. Just the reason that he was there was because in the prominent role that he is because Britt Baker saw him as a barista and is like, you shouldn't be here. Like, so far
Yeah,
as I can tell from the lore, like that's what I've heard is like, you shouldn't be here. You're Tony Schiavone. Like, you should be, you know, commentating on wrestling.
yeah,
And like, they formed that friendship, that very real friendship, which I think is important to note here for two reasons. Number one, it kind of explains to me why he has a soft spot for John Moxley since his pseudo face turn. That Nigel was right for the record, and everything that he says about Mox, about how he's a bastard, like how
yeah,
he's an attempted murderer and a cult leader, like all that stuff is true, but the blind spot that Shivani has for Britt Baker explains the blind spot that he has for Mox.
yeah,
And the blind spot that he had a little bit for Andrade, even before he split from the family. Because he kept
yeah,
saying, like, oh man, that guy's cool. Like,
yeah,
he just, if he finds you cool, and somebody treats him with respect, because let's be real, that dude in character doesn't get a lot of respect from a lot of people. If somebody, Mox goes in there, he doesn't ever, ever, ever threaten Shivani. Ever.
no,
No, he's just happy to be there alongside him on the commentary booth. So I
I
think
don't
that
think Shivani's even been threatened while Moxley is sitting at the booth.
no, I think the only person who's threatened him has been Tommaso Ciampa.
And Big Show was there to be like,
And
hey, no,
And Paul White was and um who was it? Because Nigel had to defend him. Who was it
FTR.
against? FTR,
Yeah,
right. Yes, those are the only three. Well, four if you include Stokely.
yeah,
But those are the only ones.
yeah,
So it was yeah, that character, the Tony Schiavone character, is not used to having respect. So anybody who gives it to him, he's gonna be on their side. So I think I finally kind of figured out why he has that blind spot for Mox, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that probably flies under the radar. And maybe I'm just explaining it away to ease my own anxiety about why it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But so far as I can tell, I think maybe that's the explanation that can be used to explain it away,
Yeah.
despite, you know, all the evidence to the contrary that Nigel is correct about.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah. But Shivani, he's good. He's good for now.
He
But
was slipping into some of his baseball commentary habits during this match. It's like he sounded like a baseball commentator. I'm like, oh, there you are. There's the Braves announcer.
yeah, I forgot he was the Braves announcer.
Yeah, for a while after WCW folded. Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot about that. I
but
mean,
yeah, this
the
match
little
ended
things
with the
Ted
pop
could
up.
still do.
Yeah, pop up uppercut,
Oh,
which should be the finish at any given opportunity with Claudio because
yeah.
it's my favorite thing that he does.
My wife said it always looks like it hurts so much.
Yeah,
Like, and it does.
yeah.
It's no
Well, you
lie.
can't fake it.
No, not really.
You have to make contact or it looks awful. And if you make contact, that guy is free falling right into a person's elbow. So,
Yeah,
like, it's gonna hurt.
yeah. But yeah, Claudio advances, so we'll see who he draws in the next round when we get
Mm.
that draw. After that, we've got the Birds versus
There were a lot of hype videos
yeah, little hype
and
videos.
lots of Grand Slam Mexico recaps. So we'll
Yeah,
just like
yeah. Hopefully, we'll get to see
skip through those.
machine guns in action next week. I'm hoping that's what that video
Yeah,
is
like
about.
they showed up and then it's been a week since we've seen them.
Yeah. But yeah, after that, we've got the Brawling Birds versus Viva Van and Vert Vixen, and I think
Not quite.
this. No,
Not
no,
quite.
no, not
No,
no. Yeah,
the
there is that.
ladies got too much offense.
Yeah, that's true. We had another one.
We did have another candidate for our favorite um blinking you miss it bird this week. We'll get and it's not a brawling bird.
Yeah.
It's a brawled on bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Viv Van Burt Vixen, no stranger to AEW TV and enhancement matches. Work Ring of Honor tapings quite frequently. I think Viva Van is signed. I'm not sure about Vert Vixen. Uh, I wonder
I
how
don't
she
think so.
came up with that name. How do you come up with that name, Vert Vixen?
Well, back in my day, Adam, Vert Vixen was the skateboarding version of a ring lady.
Oh, see, I am no skater, so huh. So vert as in like vertical,
Yeah, like Vert Ramp.
like vert ramp. Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah, like that. At
okay.
least that's what it evokes to me because that was what we called the hot girls who hung around the skateboarding places. Like
Gotcha.
the Vert Vixen. Yeah. So
Gotcha. See, I'm learning things all the time. So
yeah,
one
I
would imagine for okay, well, if that's the name, I'm kind of wondering why she doesn't really utilize any skater culture in her presentation. That's weird.
I don't know. I mean, she's been around a while, so maybe
Yeah,
she thought better of it for her knees or something. I don't know. Like
yeah,
I don't know, but that's what it evokes to me. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. If it's something different, tell me. But that's literally a colloquialism we used to describe, and I feel like it's a really non-offensive one that we use to describe the ladies who hung around skateboarders. Um, so yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Huh.
I never thought it was problematic. Like the
Yeah. The other
ring
one.
the ring lady term that I will not say because it is derogatory
Yeah,
and
yeah.
wrong.
I don't like that either.
Again, we don't slut shame around here. Okay.
No,
So
we don't. We don't slut shame. We don't kink shame.
Yeah, none of that at all. So yeah, I never found it to be a like it's one of those ones like from back in the day where I can say, yeah, I said that a few times because I don't feel like it was that I don't feel like it was offensive, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only time I've ever heard the term is in relation to it being this person's stage name. Like
Yeah,
that's it,
yeah,
literally.
yeah. I
So,
don't know if it was a widely used term, but I mean that's what I heard among skate circles. So
huh. And I learned something today.
yeah, but yeah,
But yeah, predictably, Brawling Birds defeat them with minimal resistance.
yeah.
Not quite complete, non-resistance, but minimal resistance. Uh, Afterward, Divine Dominion's music hits, but they take the MJF route and attack from the crowd and not the ramp
Where are
as
our
they had
smart
implied.
faces who've been like, I just saw this happen. Turn around.
For real,
Like I
they were
thought
there, they
AEW was
wrestled
the
at
place where
Arena
the faces
Mexico.
were smart.
They
Yeah, they
wrestled
were
on the same
there.
card that happened. Like
Yeah.
they wrestled those women, in fact. So I don't
I
know.
don't know, man. Yeah, after that, here's where Darby Allen's or Kevin Knight's dance card gets filled. Darby Allen
Yep.
announces it will be him and Kevin Knight for at a Falls Count Anywhere match for the TNT title,
Yeah.
which says to me that the Don Callis family is going to get heavily involved. And that makes me think that this is probably, unless it's during the tag match, where we will see the New Day appear. I don't think they're going to be heels. I'm just saying.
Oh God, no. Why would you? Why would you even entertain that notion?
I'm not entertaining it.
No
I don't think it's
way.
happening. No fucking way.
No way is that
Any
happening.
like
Yeah.
if Tony makes them heels coming out on their first day, that is the boneheadingest promoter movie he's ever made, ever.
Yeah.
And I don't
He's
think
not
he's
that
capable of
stupid.
doing something that stupid. So,
No.
like, I think the guy's smart enough to know better. So
Oh, for sure.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But that might be. I mean, fuck if Don Callis family interferes here, New Day backing up Darby's a great way to kick off their AEW career.
Yeah, it's a weird
Uh,
fit.
it is, but Darby's a weird guy. So,
Ain't that the truth? Um,
and you know they
but
would come
yeah,
up with some really great gear to go along with teaming with him too.
Darby Allin, if he wins the TNT title, would become the only four-time TNT champion.
Ah, and we know how Tony.
Because Cody was also a three-time TNT champion,
Mhm.
and Darby's tied for three, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This would put him at four, which would make him in the conversation for greatest TNT champion of all time,
Mhm.
which is probably what they would use to continue the feud with him and Kevin Knight, who also has a claim to that now that he's in his one reign defended it the most times of anybody in a single reign.
Yeah.
I think he might be close to eclipsing the the single reign length too. The TNT title doesn't have a lot of long title reigns in its history.
No, not a lot.
Let me check here. I'm gonna check it out because I am curious. Let's see here. So, oh, actually, Darby's only a two-time, so forget what I said there.
No.
Cody is tied with Wardlow, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Um, Single day reign. Let's see, or single reign, longest reign here. Um, Darby Allin. His first TNT title reign was 186 days. Beat Cody Rhodes November 7th, 2020. Lost to Miro May 12th, 2021. So Kevin Knight is at 118. So all he needs to do is hold on to it for another month or so. And he'll have the longest title reign, too. Jack Perry's close with 146, too.
He's got 21 days.
Oh, 21 days? Yeah.
He's got 21 days left.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's
Three
all.
weeks.
So if he can survive All In, he will have both the single reign length record and the number of defenses record in a single reign,
Yeah.
which would definitely, yeah, that puts him in greatest TNT champion of all time range right there, if he isn't already.
Well,
so
we will see how it goes at All In,
yeah.
but I think Darby's probably going to take it. But we'll
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it makes sense too, since they don't really like to have long reigns with the TNT title for some reason.
Yeah.
And I mean, it feels almost wrong after his incredible world title reign to not like carry on the momentum somehow. Like you heard how Mexico City popped for that guy.
Yeah.
Like the dude is over. He's a made man. You do something with him.
Yeah, something. We'll see what they do. But yeah, I mean, after that world title reign, he's definitely a made guy. After that, we've got our next Challenge Cup first round match with the conglomeration's Orange Cassidy versus Matt Sydal from Skyflight.
Jane is back, baby.
Jane, yeah. So
Jane
is back.
Jane.
And
don't get me wrong, I like the Pixies. They're fine. Where's My Mind is fine. It's thematic. But Jane, honestly, may be one of the best like actual songs as a theme song for any wrestler ever.
Yeah.
Like you can't that intro and then right into the rock, like, I don't care what you say. Starship's great. Like, I know that's a hot take for a lot of people. I don't care. I have bad taste, sue me. Whatever. I like Starship. Jane is their best song. Like, I love that song. I love that song for him. I love hearing it every week. I'm glad it's back. I don't even know why they keep going back and forth between the two. It never made sense to me. Pick one or the other. Like, yeah. But I was glad it was back. It made me instantly happy when I heard it. And Matt Sydal looked great. He looked like he hadn't lost a step.
His first match in 26
months. A lot
of
chain wrestling in this one.
Yeah.
Lots of chain. Well, lucha chain, really.
Yeah.
Like, not like Tekker chain so much as lucha chain. But, like, Orange Cassidy spent a lot of time in Chikara's Fire Ant doing lucha stuff. So, I mean, he doesn't get to show, like, a ton of it. So, I guess against Matt Sydal, he's like, oh, here's a guy I can do stuff with because he's my size. Like,
yeah.
Sydal's kicks, though.
Golly. Oof, yeah.
When you're that small and you're facing bigger guys all the time, makes sense that you lay those kicks in to make them look good. Like, and he did not let up just because Orange Cassidy was his size.
Lay him into Orange Cassidy, like devastating. Like,
yeah.
That knee.
At one point, I thought
he pulled him in and hit that flying knee. I was like, oh.
I thought he caved his chest in for a second there.
Yeah.
Freaking
crazy.
But yeah, match ended on a beach break. Orange Cassidy moves on, but Sydal looked great. I was happy for him. Like, he teased selling the ankle, but it didn't look like it was giving him any problems for real. Yeah. So I'm glad to see that he's holding up.
And here is where our Condor is. Because we've got Xavier and Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz of the Rascals taking on Aaron Solo and Stephen Fuerte. And I know one of those names.
Yeah.
And
Aaron Solo is kind of. I feel bad for the guy because he's kind of he's seen as almost a joke.
Yeah.
For reasons utterly unrelated to his in-ring stuff. Mm-hmm. I feel kind of bad for the poor guy. He lost Bailey and then got outed by Cody as a kind of a dweeb. Like, I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's had a job there for like 6.5 years, so good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's definitely getting paid to not do a lot, and that's kind of the dream.
Isn't it
Uh,
just?
yeah, and
But yeah,
but
these are our condors. These are our giant
God,
condors of the
yeah,
week for sure.
they definitely spent more time building up Myron Reed being in the ring ready to face Speedball than they did taking the time to kick these guys' asses. Like,
Yeah, they got some mic time after the match where they built them all up. Hopefully, that means we're going to get to see them get a renewed push in either the tag or the trios divisions. I mean, they keep giving my they give them all some singles uh, opportunities, but Myron Reed's mostly the singles guy, and he looks great every
yeah,
single time he's out there. And his following match with Speedball was fantastic.
it was fantastic.
Like they had,
This was my match of the night for sure.
yeah,
Speedball and Myron Reed,
Myron
no
Reed. Like
question.
we talk about Speedball being so great, Myron Reed seems to have chemistry with nearly everybody too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't think we say it enough, but Myron Reed, I can see why TK is singling him out as the singles guy.
he's
He's
got
young, he's athletic, he's got a good look, he's got unique, cool moves. They all
mhm.
do, but like
He
I
meshes
think
with
that
everyone.
yeah, like
Everyone. He
he's
does those unique,
I
cool moves with everybody.
yeah,
And
and
he's always got
the
something
best
too.
one,
Like he lives in the tape room, dude. Like I
the
swear to God,
best
he lives in
one,
the tape room.
the best one from this match was when he went for that cutter from the outs inside to outside, and Speedy blocked it and reversed it.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. Loved that. Uh, yeah, like it was great. It was great. This match was insane. Couldn't call it like if I wanted to. The weird thing was that it ended on the Spanish Fly. I think that was the weirdest thing, like
Mm-hmm.
the running one, but not
Yeah,
the top rope one. Like I didn't expect the fall to come there, but a little bit of unpredictability is never a bad thing.
yeah.
Uh, they shook hands after the match. It was good. Speedy gets another win. Hopefully, they have plans for the guy because, like we said earlier, like he always seems to be the almost guy. He's he's right at that glass ceiling, begging to be given a chance to break through, but that glass has proven too thick so far.
Yeah. After that, the dogs sing "Who Let the Dogs Out" in the weirdest way. Um, I
You know
thought this
what?
was a really good use
I
of the
I thought
format.
that
I guess.
I thought it was good that they embraced it.
Yeah.
Like that could be like that's such a goofy dated reference that could be made about them. The fact that they're taking it and running with it, at least for a promo, who knows? Maybe it's a gimmick now, but uh, at least for one promo, kind of reclaiming it
You see,
makes them look better.
what's funny to me is that that reference was even made. So, like, which one of the Bang Bang Gang, who all appear to be much younger than us, is actually our age? Looking at you,
Bang
Juice.
Bang, probably Juice.
Looking at you, Juice.
Probably Juice.
Probably, but yeah, like it just, I'm like, who would have even brought that reference out if they weren't a millennial, an elder
Yeah, Juice has
millennial?
been wrestling for a surprisingly long time. If I had to guess, he's probably close to our age. I bet it was him.
Probably.
Or you know what? It might have been the Guns because Billy Gunn definitely seems like the kind of guy who would be into that song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, I could see him like driving a pink
I
Hummer
could
and
be
singing that song.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah I could definitely see that.
yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, just like,
His heyday was when that was around the same time that that song was popular.
yeah, that's
So
true. That's true. Yeah, I could see
uh,
him being that guy.
I am not asking for it, but for the sake of um I don't know what you call it consistency, kind of wondering what is going on with Gabe Kidd. that he's not back yet.
I'm wondering.
Like like I said, I don't want. He's my least favorite of the dogs
You know,
for sure. But like it doesn't make they're treading water. Like like the only reason that they're involving the Death Riders is because Gabe Kidd can't be here.
yeah. Well, like I'm wondering with the new stringent immigration codes and shit that we have here in the States, if maybe he's not like is Gabe Kidd a what's the equivalent of a felon in English law? Like is Gabe Kidd a felon? Because
I
if he
mean, I would.
is, that could explain why he's having US visa issues because our immigration shit's gotten a lot more stringent and it's harder to get in the country now if you're like an outside the country felon. Um
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not saying he is. I'm not assuming he would be or anything like that. I'm just wondering if he's got a pass like some people do. You know.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, he's talked pretty openly about his mental health struggles. Maybe it's the time that he spent in a psychiatric hospital that has people from this really judgmental and idiotic administration, cracking down on it. I mean, you know what the president has said about people from they're sending over people from insane asylums and blah blah blah. Maybe there's something to that, considering the fact that the psychiatric hospital stuff that Gabe Kidd has mentioned in promos is an actual real thing that he's mining uh, promo material from.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's causing his issues though. It seems like everybody else has got cleared up except for his though. So
Yeah,
like
I
everybody
mean,
else
like,
that we were mentioning in the same breath with him when we first kind of brought this up, Hechicero, Hikaru Shida, people like that, they're all back, and and
yeah,
and moving again, and he's not, oddly. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Gabe. I'm hoping that, you know, I mean, I don't really like to see him, but if it's going to move the dog story forward, let's get him back.
yeah, uh, yeah. I mean, he's currently in New Japan as the global championship holder. So you know,
I mean, he's not doing terrible for himself, I guess.
no, he's not. I mean, yeah, he works the crowd, whatever. But like, I mean, it's very clear that he doesn't hate New Japan as much as he says he does.
Yeah,
Uh,
kind of like Tickle and Star.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, where is Tekla? She lost her belt and disappeared.
I'm assuming over in Stardom working that trios championship.
I guess I'd have to. Let's ask our Blue Sky users. Hey, any of you folks who follow stuff outside of AEW, do y'all know where Tekla is? Because I don't, and I miss her, and I
Yeah,
miss Tony Storm, and I want this women's division to be whole again. It
yeah.
makes me
I
sad.
really miss Tony Storm. I wonder what surprises are in store for us on the women's side of things at All In.
I mean, you probably have to assume that they'll have a gauntlet match too, if for no other reason than to get as many women on the card as possible. Um,
I hope so.
they'll probably have at least one Stardom representative in it. If they do so, if it was me, I would put Tekla in there, have her look like she's going to win the whole thing, and then have the next entrant be Starlight Kid, and then have her run out so Tekla doesn't have to take the loss, and then have whoever else you want to win.
Yeah. But yeah, so after that we've got after the dogs we've got speaking of the ladies, Persephone and Hikaru Ushida versus Maya World and Hyan.
Yeah,
And once again they put these two as a tag team like they came in.
yeah,
And once again Hyan's the one who really impresses me.
yeah. Not
Really
only that,
impresses
but
me.
the established, for tag team loses to the makeshift tag team. Like, it would be different if it was like the case with the Young Bucks and Mox and Osprey from Redemption. Like, that makes sense. The Bucks are like arguably the best tag team of their generation. So they, in theory, should be able to beat two. Yeah, but no two. No, even main event superstars should be able to beat them.
Yeah,
together, really. High End in My World, using that same logic, shouldn't really lose to Persephone and Hikaru Shida, who have up to this moment never tagged with each other.
Yeah,
and shouldn't have any chemistry yet by
no.
logical dictation, but that's not what happened here. That being said, I mean they cheated to win, so I mean
Yeah.
so I will say that the move Sheeta hit to win this match was nasty looking in the best way. It was like a folded up tombstone.
A
Like,
cutthroat tombstone is what.
yeah, like cutthroat tombstone driver, like incredible.
Yeah,
Like, she may not be as quick and nimble as she once was, but she's coming up with new stuff to try and make up for it.
yeah,
So anybody who says, "Oh, she doesn't deserve a spot," is like, dude, she is trying so hard, and I mean, she's been at this for a long time. She had a really, really long layoff. I mean, that much ring rust. I mean, she's still working off the ring rust for it.
yeah.
But she's making up for her, you know, I don't, anything I say here is going to sound mean. And I don't mean it to be that way because I love Sheeta, but she's making up for her maybe physical lack with coming up with new stuff in the ring and vastly improving her presentation as a character, which is way more important than people give it credit for, especially in this fan base. I feel like, everybody's favorite is Hangman or Tony Storm or Swerve or, the guy or MJF, the guys who really get character. And then for everybody else, it's just like work rate, work rate, work rate, work rate. That's what matters. It's like, no, people can be characters too.
Yeah.
And that's important. Like,
right.
It kind of bugs me to see people like on Blue Sky. Sometimes like when somebody goes from AEW to WWE and then all of a sudden they pretend like they were never a fan of that person.
Oh, that's bullshit. Yeah.
Like, I'm sure for some people that's true. I think statistically speaking, some people probably have always felt that way. But I think that there's like a social pressure to say, oh, I never liked them anyway. Oh, they were always BS anyway. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
I noticed this like when Ethan Page moved over. Tell me, I didn't like Ethan Page anyway. You're full of shit. Ethan Page was getting some of the biggest pops in that building. And
Ethan Page is great.
Yeah. Like Ricky Starks. Oh, I didn't like him anyway. He was a Cody guy anyway. He didn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. No, bullshit. You loved Ricky fucking Starks when he
liked Ricky Starks. I mean, I'll say this. His attitude doesn't impress me. The way he left doesn't impress me. I kind of soured on his attitude, but I liked his work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend I didn't like his work to save face. Just to appear like I was always right the whole time. No, like I like this work. Like, you want an extreme example? You want an extreme example? Here's your hot take. He was a murderer, but Benoit was an excellent wrestler. He was a fantastic professional wrestler between the ropes.
True.
If he was alive today and his brain wasn't mush and he wasn't, bashed into, his brain wasn't so smooth out from all the chair shots and the steroid use and all this stuff. If he was healthy, he could go with any of those guys in AEW and run circles around half of them. He
Yeah.
was incredible and ahead of his time. He
Hmm.
was also, unfortunately, a murderer. You can be two things. I'm not going to celebrate his work, but I'm not going to lie and say I never liked it or that he wasn't excellent, because he was.
Hmm.
Like, the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, granted, art is subjective, but the truth is the truth. You don't get to retcon your own history and, you know, your own likes just because it's fashionable. Like, oh, I never did that anyway. No, you say, oh, this changed my mind about him. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
don't
I'm
lie
not a
and say
fan
that you
of
were
his
like this from the
anymore.
beginning,
Yeah.
because it's the internet. There are probably receipts.
Yeah. I have a damn good reason not to be a fan of Chris Benoit today.
Oh
Damn good
yeah,
reason. Everybody does. But to tell
everybody
me,
does.
if you would have asked me that question before he died, like when he was in WCW or something, or ECW or early WWE era, like him, like
When he won the title at WrestleMania 20, it's a huge
shit,
moment. I
the
popped
weekend he
huge.
died, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be like him and CM Punk, and I was hyped for that shit.
Yeah, that was the match on that card that I was most hyped to see.
Anybody who tells me they weren't hyped for CM Punk, long black haired CM Punk versus fucking Chris Benoit, quit fucking lying to me. It don't matter what you think of either of
Yeah,
those guys today. At
yeah,
that point, every wrestling fan wanted this
yeah.
match to happen. They wanted to see that
Anybody
shit.
who claims differently can take 85 cc's to the face. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Exactly. So yeah, when people say, like there's even people who didn't cross over to WWE. They're just out of AEW and people act like, "Oh, I never liked it." You know what? You know who I miss? You know who I miss who didn't go anywhere, just like left wrestling altogether? Who I would love to see come back just to work a mic for some heels? I kind of miss Dan Lambert.
me too,
I hated him
honestly.
so fucking much. He was so effective. I hated him so fucking
He was
much.
very effective. I liked the
But
fact that
goddamn, I missed him.
he was basically Jim Cornette light,
Yeah.
like, except with an MMA, flavor
Yeah,
to
I
him.
hated
It's
him
like,
bringing the MMA people in, like Jorge Masvidal showing up. I was like, this is
yeah, I
stupid
don't care
because
about that.
he's going to make a bunch of wrestlers look dumb, and they're not going to be able
Yeah,
to do shit back to him because he's under $1 million and something contract, and he's not
yeah,
going to be able to beat. Like they're not going to be able to touch him, so
right.
nothing will be. He'll never get a comeuppance,
It's
and
the
that's
Stephanie
exactly what
McMahon
happened.
situation.
Yeah, yeah. So like that guy's under a real sports contract. He cannot get hurt.
Yeah,
So like yeah, like they're not gonna just like let him take a bump. It's not
right.
happening. So he'll never get comeuppance. So that part was stupid. But Dan Lambert on the mic antagonizing faces, great,
Especially the way he
great
did it.
shit.
I mean, he knew the exact right buttons to push for that specific crowd.
Mhm.
He was
Because he pushed the
brilliant.
real buttons for that
He
crowd.
was brilliant.
Yeah,
Like, my friends would absolutely disagree with you. They do not want him back. And I see why,
because they
because he
struck a
was really,
chord.
really, really effective at what he did,
He struck
and
a
it
chord with
kind
them.
of,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
struck a little bit too close,
yeah,
a little too close to the quick.
yeah. I
And
can see that. Yeah, I can
I
see that
get
for sure.
that. I get that, and you know what? That's valid enough. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I kind of miss the guy because, man, nobody got heat like that guy. I wanted to see that guy get trashed, thrown, literally trashed, like thrown in a garbage can, like
Yeah.
every single time he
Mm.
showed up. He was brilliant. I kind of miss him too.
The reason I liked him is because I met when I worked in MMA, like doing like pro, like doing press and training guys and sponsoring and cornering guys. Like I met Dan Lambert. Like I didn't meet him, but
Mm,
I met dudes like him, exactly like him, dudes that would like if they found out from anybody that I also participate in professional wrestling would 100% belittle me. And then I'd have
yeah,
to pull the one thing that they can never have a thing to. Like, bro, your title fights are 3 5-minute rounds, 5 5-minute rounds. You got 25 minutes, right? And they're like,
yeah,
yeah. I was like, and you got like rest breaks and water breaks and cut breaks and all that. Yeah. I was like, okay, take away all those breaks and do it for a fucking hour.
yeah,
Oh, you can't? The average professional wrestler's gas tank is better than your average fighter. Prove me wrong. You can't. Why? Because wrestlers can do an hour. They're literally trained, whether they do a 5-minute match or an hour and a half long or a 74-minute spectacle called the Grand Prix. Fucking, they are trained to go an hour. That's the goal. Like you should be able to wrestle for a solid hour. And
That's
most
your
of those
average.
guys,
That's your standard
yeah,
Broadway.
that's your standard
If you need
Broadway.
to hit it, that's why.
Yeah, and most of those guys can do that. Most MMA fighters cannot fight farther than like 20, 25 minutes. They just can't do it, man. Their gas tank is not built
It
for
was a
that.
huge deal when they started implementing all main event fights in the UFC to be the 5 rounders instead of just the
Mm-hmm.
title fights. It was a huge deal,
You
and
see
it
top
was
tier
a
fighters get
small.
gassed in round
It was a
4,
slow creep
Yeah.
too. Like now, granted, the trade off there is that yeah, they're going to actually pound you in the face for real, but like
Terry Funk has entered the chat.
yeah, like seriously,
Like yeah, like the what can like I could yeah, y'all do that for real? Cool. Here's a guy who did that for real too. He did it for
yeah,
40 fucking years. He did it well past the age any MMA fighter fights. Well past
yeah,
this motherfucker was doing backflips by the time most of y'all are retired.
yep.
Like, sorry, you're not
54
gonna
years old doing moonsaults to win the ECW title.
yeah. Now I
When
am not
I think the oldest person I can think of that was still active was what Randy Couture. I think he retired at 48.
yeah.
So,
But like I'm not discounting an MMA fighter's fitness at all because like I have a hard time keeping up at MMA workouts the same way
but
they
they
have.
train us for a specific
Yeah, they
purpose.
do. They do. Now, I have seen MMA fighters have a hard time keeping up with wrestling workouts. You know where I see wrestling guys have a hard time keeping up, and there's even documentation and lore on this one. You can go and check out the WWE videos from when John Cena went to train with the Marines.
Yeah,
Wrestlers have a hard time keeping like unless they've been in the military, they have no idea what they're getting into with those workouts. They have a hard time with them.
that's
John
half of
Cena
what those
himself,
guys do all day.
yeah,
That's most of
that is
what those guys
that
do
is
all day,
most yeah, it's
unless they're
most of them.
deployed.
If
And
you're
then
I mean, if you're an infantryman like me, it's a 90-10, 90% workout, 10% ass time unless you're deployed. And when you're deployed, it's about 50-50 ass time workout, unless you're in active combat. So, you actually get a break when you're deployed from your normal routine because it's like 90% physical activity when you're an infantryman because you literally have nothing
yeah,
else to do. It's like, hey, we don't really have anything to do because you're not fighting a war. So here's the gym,
yeah,
like, and here's all the free, energy drinks and shit you could possibly want. So here we go, but like, I'm not discounting an MMA fighter straight, but like you're not gonna stand in front of me as an MMA person and be like, wrestling isn't real and those guys aren't, real athletes. Fuck off, they aren't.
yeah,
Like I've seen your guys fall out doing this shit. Don't play with me. I can bring you
yeah.
receipts. But anyway, that said, we can move on to Lexi Nair backstage with Kevin Knight, who is purposefully putting himself in the Jericho vortex.
Yeah, I mean momentarily anyway. I mean he's gonna defend the TNT title against Jericho. He's gonna win.
I mean, he's got to win, right? Like, I
He's
mean, he's
got to
got
win.
to win, right?
So
Like,
he's
yeah.
gonna get that win over the first AEW World Champion,
Okay.
and probably as a trade off and a way to um, justify moving him out of the TNT title division and up the card.
I mean, fair enough. Like, I would say, does he go on a streak of beating former world champions? But I don't think he lasts past 3 weeks.
No, I mean there. First of all, there aren't that many of them.
Yeah.
And secondly, at this point, I don't see him picking up wins against guys like Samoa Joe,
MJF, Hangman,
MJF. Hanger would be
Kenny,
willing to put him
Hanger.
over, but I don't think they would do it.
Who else was world champion? Like, there was others, I think.
Swerve.
Swerve. Yeah, Swerve. He's
Danielson's
not beating
retired.
Swerve.
I don't
Daniel,
see Jet going over
if
Mox.
Danielson came back, I still don't think Kevin Knight wins.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
No.
I don't think Brian Danielson's going to lose his like one match he might get left.
Yeah.
Um, I think he put the Death Riders over on his way out, and I don't think if he comes back for a return, he's not going to lose that.
No,
Um,
probably not.
so
But yeah, like I mean, they're just not that many. I mean, I could see him going over Omega eventually, but he just got his shot and he couldn't do it. So, you know,
Um,
uh,
After that, we get a little update on the G1 Climax and Takeshita being at the top of A block with 10 points and
good
looking
for
to
him.
become the only back to back champion who isn't named Okada, which would
No,
be
there
an
were
int.
5 other wrestlers to do it, but he'd be the first one since 2022.
Okay. Well, still interesting bit to add to their lore between them.
Yeah,
Um, I think we might just already be barreling towards another Okada to catch the match. Like, and
I
you know what?
think the
We
match
could just
is.
keep re-rinsing
I
that and
think All
watching it, and I'd
In
be fine.
is triple threat. Those two and Fletcher for the
And
international title.
Fletcher, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe there's got to be like I was wondering what the triple threat would be because there's got to be one,
yeah,
like there, even if it's not the main, like at least one, and
yeah.
maybe that's it. Yeah. Uh, After that, we've got we got the Death Riders. That's Wheeler and Garcia, Moxley and Pack versus Jack Perry, the Guns, and Juice Robinson. Which how did Jack Perry and the Bang Bang Gang
Bec-
get?
it was a matter of just hyping Jack Perry's match with John Moxley in the Continental Challenge Cup.
Mm,
That's all it was. Like, they're still selling Jay White's injury. Uh, Ace Austin had a match earlier for the cup for the so this is what we get, I guess.
Guess so.
Either way, it was cool. Mox avoided Jack Perry, toying with him like a cat toys with a mouse until the very end, where it was kind of forced upon them. Uh, Jack gets some stuff in, but for the most part, I mean, it doesn't go his way in the end. Colton hits a big drop kick on Wheeler Yuta, but before they can hit 310 to Yuma on Yuta, so 310 to Yuta, Marina gets in there distracting the ref, and the dogs come out, and they hit a low blow on Colton. They laid it out. I think there was a shillelagh involved too.
Yeah,
And then Yuta just laid out. I think it was Colton
Colton. Yeah,
for the win.
yeah. I thought the coolest thing in this was they did that Death Riders lineup, and then Juice jumped in the ring and started handing everybody lefts.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're coming in towards Colton and just just lays them all out. Like I thought that was the coolest way somebody's broke that up yet.
yep.
Uh, I also think Juice
After
has a hell of a left hand, so
he does. Afterwards, Jack Perry uh, gets Yuta with a Busaiku knee of his own and forces them to kind of go, leave the area. Mox and Perry are shouting at each other. You know the deal.
yeah. After that, we get our announcement that the number 2 spot for the gauntlet for All In is going to be Mike Bailey versus MJF versus Nick Wayne.
Interesting match there. I
That is
like
an
it.
interesting three people in a single match, and I like it. Also, I have this ugly fucking feeling that MJF is winning this match.
I think you have to. You have to do that, or one other specific thing. I think that you have to do that since the only guaranteed matchup in a casino gauntlet match is the number 1 versus number 2 spot. You have to advertise those two, and those two have the heat. Andrade and MJF have the heat. So you either have to do that, or you have Andrade screw MJF out of that match to get either Speedy or Nick Wayne in there, probably Speedy, and then do the thing where MJF is on his way to the ring, finally, after several entrants before him, since everything else is randomized, and he has to see Andrade win right in front of him before he can get down there to break it up.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Wouldn't it just?
Could
It'd be
we?
great.
Could we? Like Tony Khan,
I
take
feel
that
like
check.
this is either one of those is acceptable to me. Either one, but if I feel like there's there's more to gain. If you're having Andrade win, that's the way to do it. Is to have him not face, is to have him screw over MJF and to win it in front of his face before he can do anything about it. If anybody other than Andrade wins, just throw him and MJF in there as the first two.
Yeah.
You know, like, because they'll have the heat and then they can go off and separate without factoring into the final decision.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that all goes. I'm kind of excited for the gauntlet match, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping Bailey wins the whole thing. If I'm being honest, like
Yeah.
it doesn't. I say you have him hold the contract for a good long time and win and finally win one of those mid card belts to prove that, like, okay, I can win this in this division. I'm ready for the world title. I feel like that is something that his character would make sense for his character. You know, he has a belief in himself, but like he keeps coming so close only to lose it at the very end. So you gotta be like, maybe I should just set an attainable goal first and make sure I can do that before I'm really ready. I feel like that would be in character for people.
Yeah.
And since now that there's the week's notice stipulation on the contract too, it's not like he can just, cash it in like the Money in the Bank contract, So with that stipulation added in, it doesn't really. It feeds into this idea. Okay, I need to be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we get a nice in remembrance section for Dory Funk. And then after that, we go backstage to Lexi Nair, who's between the Hurt Syndicate and Shane Taylor Promotions, who are apparently going to do some business together.
I don't know what that business is, but I am interested.
I'm interested also.
I was just thinking, like, where's the Hurt Syndicate been? And then they show up on my TV and, kind of breaking bread a little bit with Shane Taylor Promotions. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I can get behind this. You know me, I'm a Shane Taylor fan. I know you're not as high on him, but like, I like the guy. I love Lee Moriarty. I want the world for him. Fair. I love Trish Adora. Want the world for her. So if this gets the both of them into a more prominent position, damn, yeah, I'm all for that.
I mean, one thing I really noticed about this though is that apparently MVP orders his tracksuits from the same place that I do. Because I have that exact one hanging in my closet right now, but also have the exact same problem with it that MVP seems to have, which is that it appears to be one size too small.
Yeah,
which makes me think that maybe he and I misread their sizing chart the same way. I don't know. After that, we've got Jack Perry and the Bang Bang Gang backstage. And, Jack Perry just, cutting a promo on Moxley. And then Juice, letting us know, like, Jay White will be back on Wednesday to face David Finlay. So,
yeah, the randomly put together match of the two guys who have beef. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Speaking of which, the other randomly put together match, or Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong next week.
Yeah. And we have Hechicero versus somebody in the family.
Wolverine, yeah.
Yeah, Brian Cage, yeah.
Cage, yeah.
A couple of different stablemate matches that I'm kind of interested in seeing, actually.
So, like, I think that's how they're offsetting the obvious, we put these two together because they have heat.
Yeah.
Matches or the one anyway, is, okay, well, these guys are in the same factions together. We got to make it look random, so we'll put them together too.
Right.
I hope it's Kyle that moves on, and my boy Big H.
Yeah, definitely want Hechicero to win that one. Uh, but speaking of the Challenge Cup, we have our main event and the last first round match of the night with Eddie Kingston versus Jake Doyle. And nice to see the Mad King back on TV.
Oh yeah, it
And
really
you
is.
know,
I got super
being
excited when they announced his participation in this tournament.
and now and also being as belligerent of an unk as ever there was.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah.
like like Eddie Kingston always has this look on his face, like I'm so fed up with these damn kids. Like,
You're not wrong.
oh, but yeah, I thought this match was good. Doyle is,
Lots of heavy leather thrown in this
oh
match.
yeah,
Holy
man, they were
crap!
getting after it, man. Like,
I don't think I've ever seen to this point. I haven't seen much of Jake Doyle. Just what I've seen since they hired him in AEW. I don't think I've ever seen him sell like this. He was
yeah,
selling
no,
those chops like crazy.
yeah,
Like his facial expressions in this match told a lot of the story here.
yeah,
Like it was great to
fantastic.
see, and he got a submission win on Doyle. That
Yeah,
big beefy boy verbally submitted. Like that's they should have played that up way more than they did. Like
yeah,
that seems like it's a big deal. That's a big beefy unstoppable killing machine since he's been signed, with the exception of his injury that he had early on. And but he's been really really protected. So for him to verbally, now he didn't even tap, he verbally submitted. Like, whoo!
yeah. I haven't seen anybody
Eddie
shake their head
Kingston should
yes
be
in a
getting a
hot minute.
ton of shine off of that. That
Yeah,
they're missing the boat on this. Like they're
yeah,
burying the lead. Like that's the lead right there. Is that he got Big Boy to tap verbally. Like,
yeah,
woof, that should be really that should be the headline. Like,
yeah. I'm hoping they make a bigger deal out of it as Wednesday goes on.
yeah,
Um, but we'll see what they do. Maybe they make a bigger deal out of it when they do the next draw. Where he's like, I made this motherfucker tap out. He
yeah,
next. So we'll see how they go. Collision though, pretty good, man. No, I mean, it's really hard to follow a dynamite like that.
yeah. You're
They
not
did
wrong.
they did a pretty good job, all things considered. I mean, especially considering the amount of people who stayed in Mexico to
Yeah,
participate in the
a lot of
CMLL
people.
show that was coming
Yeah,
up.
a lot of people
Um,
stayed to work the CNL show.
and also a pretty good week of wrestling considering our world champion was completely absent.
I was shocked that he was nowhere on the CMLL card, this Arena
Yeah,
Mexico
I
card.
kind of was too, actually. And yeah, so I mean, a really good week, especially for not having Kenny Omega in the house.
Yeah,
Especially when like it's kind of expected that he'll be around because he's the world champ.
yeah.
And it kind of like,
But
are
I
we
only noticed his absence after the fact.
see one thing though that I wonder is like, are we giving too much away towards him definitely losing this match to Osprey by having Osprey going on this tear and then having Omega just being absent? Like they should
I
be going
think
on
you,
parallel journeys right now, leading into one another,
yeah,
not
I
having
do
one being
feel
devoid.
like Omega should be doing more in the ring leading up to this match. He
Yeah,
should be showing, just as Osprey is showing this new dangerous side to himself, Omega should be reinforcing that he's the best he's ever been
yeah,
by just like,
exactly.
even if it's just like, you remember the initial like tournament they had to determine the number one contender that he was in, and he just, oh, what was his opponent's name? Oh gosh. Oh, why can't I think of it? Hang on. Ugh. Da, 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 da. Um, phew. He had, I don't know. I can't remember. What was their name? What was the Joey Janela's tag partner? Concrete Rose. Why am I can't think of their name?
Oh God. Now I can't either. You've given me
I
your brain
feel so
fartitis.
stupid now. Uh, oh, I can't remember. It's gonna bug the hell out of me because I should remember this, and I feel disrespectful not remembering it. Sunny Kiss.
Ah, yeah.
Sunny
Okay.
Kiss. Remember, he like just destroyed Omega destroyed Sunny Kiss in like 9 seconds.
Yeah.
Hit Sunny with a flying knee, and then uh, one winged angel, and that's where we get like the meme of
Yeah.
Omega with that look on his face. That look on his face. That like, is that all you got? That one. Sorry, Sunny Kiss. I did not mean to be disrespectful, and I'm sorry I forgot about you. Sorry. Um, that was not intentional. I'm just 41 with dad brain, and I apologize. Uh, but yeah, like even if it's something like that, even if it's a short, giant condor squash match, like to reestablish him as like the most dominant he's ever been or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you can even use that to springboard somebody else's push. Like have him do it against Speedy and have Speedball get really, really mad. Like and then go on a tear. Like that could be the impetus for him,
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
that'll
and
never happen again type shit.
eventually working into a full length feud with Omega, whether that belt is on the line or not.
Yeah.
Something between those two would kick ass.
Yeah, it would.
So I don't know. I feel like there's opportunities here.
Yeah. Definitely is. Definitely is. But yeah, really great week of wrestling, I think.
Yeah, well, we talked so much, and we're about to talk more because there's one thing left to do. What is that?
It's time to do like the pros do and call it the ring.
That's right. And this week, inspired by the incredible Grand Slam Mexico show that we just watched and went over, and I can't get out of my brain. I was thinking about maybe talking about our favorite masked wrestlers of all time. That could be a luchador enmascarado. It could be somebody like Dr. X, or it could be somebody who wore a mask for a gimmick, like one time. But like, what are your favorite masked wrestlers or wrestlers who wore masks, and why did you like the time that they wore the mask?
Okay.
So I'll let you go first.
I mean, as a kid, there was one masked wrestler who, when we first were introduced to him, thoroughly terrified me. And he didn't just wear a mask; he wore two masks. And losing the first mask over the course of his career was probably one of the biggest fumbles both companies made. And the second mask was, I mean, about as much as a mask as a thong is underwear. And of course, it's the Mastodon Big Van Vader.
Yeah. I was hoping you'd bring him up. I love Vader.
Probably one of my favorite.
Technically a masked wrestler, even though most people don't think of him as such.
Yeah, I mean, we know what his face looks like. He didn't wear the mask all the time. He did have the little mask that he wore while he wrestled, and then he had the big Mastodon helmet that he used to wear out.
Yeah, that thing was so awesome.
Losing that thing was some of the stupidest shit they ever did. He should have had that thing every match, every day of his career.
Agreed. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
I loved it.
It was awesome. But
as a little kid, even though I was scared to death of Vader, I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah. Well, he was like
it shot steam out of itself.
Yeah,
like it was awesome. So cool.
It was awesome. It put some there's still people who have really cool ring gear today that it puts it to shame. That old Mastodon helmet from the 90s, you know. Um, Also, I was kind of a portly child, and Vader was the first time that somebody with my body type was like doing moonsaults and being physically intimidating. And I was like, this is great, man, because that just means like I don't have to grow up and like pump a bunch of steroids to look like Hulk Hogan. I could just grow up into the same shape I am now,
Yeah.
and I'll look like that guy. You know,
And
like
furthermore, importantly, he was intimidating in a way that was far different than other bigger, you know, huge dudes. Like he was different. He was intimidating in a way that was much different than somebody like, say, Earthquake.
yeah.
You know, uh,
Uh,
Earthquake was huge, and by virtue of that, was it's like if you walked into him, it's like, oh no, please don't sit on me.
yeah.
Vader would come right at you and hit you with those cross faces in the corner with those smelly ass gloves of his, and they were legendarily
Disgusting.
odoriferous.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Um, Never washed them apparently, but and that's there's multiple accounts of this to corroborate it. But like he was the 6'4", 450-pound dude who came at you.
Yeah.
He didn't wait for you to bump into him and then just lazily sit on you because he could. He chased you down and ate you. Like it was just, oh yeah,
Yeah. A plus mass wrestler.
no
Intimidate
question.
like intimidating in a real way.
Oh
In a
yeah,
real way. Because like I remember like going to like autograph signings. It's like the precursor to cons, you know, when I was a
yeah,
kid. And like I would approach heels. It was never a problem for me to approach a heel. Like Rick, like I've told the story before here that when I was like 6 years old, I was a big Ric Flair fan, even though he's a bad guy. And I approached him and he was very nice to me. Other people like other heels like Earthquake or Boss Man or people like that, I was definitely walking right up to those guys. But people like specifically Vader and The Undertaker terrified the shit out of me to the
yeah.
point where even like when I had an opportunity to meet them, I was like hiding behind my dad. Like, no, I ain't. I'm not going near that. That guy's a fucking
He's a
madman,
psychopath.
or
Yeah,
that guy's dead. I'm not going over there.
yeah.
You know, like because like the Undertaker's theme music used to fucking terrify me as a kid, and he did too.
Another
And
another Jim Johnston masterpiece.
yeah, but Vader terrified me in a very real way because he was different
Yeah.
than other heels, you know. So yeah,
There's a
Vader's
reason that the go-to wrestler that they called for Boy Meets World was that guy. Like Leon White was a big, intimidating guy who was legitimately terrifying,
yeah,
but also
legitimate.
had, oddly enough, real comedic timing.
Yeah.
Like, like he was great as Frankie Stakino's dad on Boy Meets World. Like,
You know, I mean, I've
it
heard
was
from a
great.
couple of the old school guys that he was a really nice dude, you
Yeah,
know. So
kind of
I've
a
heard,
teddy bear,
yeah,
kind of
I've heard,
oversensitive in a
yeah, I've
lot
heard
of
he was a
ways,
little, yeah, a
actually.
little bit oversensitive, but also, you know, like Leon was a real nice guy. Heard that many times. So
Yeah,
I never got to meet, like, I had an opportunity as a kid to meet him at an autograph signing, and I wouldn't go near the guy because he terrified
I got to see him in person at that show that we talked about, that indie show, the same one where I saw New Jack with his Wolverine claws, because Vader was serving as like the one night general manager
me.
of Pro Wrestling Syndicate. So
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, like he's one of those guys who's like Moxley or Rollins, who's like big, but because they're surrounded by bigger guys, you kind of underestimate how big they are, how
Mhm.
tall they are. No, that man was a legitimate 6'4". Like he
Yeah.
was a tall man as far as the average person is concerned.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much in wrestlerdom, but in out here in the real world, Yeah, he was a tall mount. He was a tall guy.
As a big old boy.
Yeah. Oh, love that pick. Love that pick. Uh, I'm I'm gonna go with for the first one. You know, my first introduction to lucha libre was like many of our generation, the cruiserweight division at WCW. And I love me some Rey Mysterio, and we can talk about him. Like he's absolutely probably the most influential masked luchador aside from El Santo. Uh, but I mean El Santo, like I've never seen him work, but I know by reputation that you think Hulk Hogan was big in this country. El Santo was the man
Oh, dude.
in Mexico. That dude
Yeah.
starred in like almost 100 movies. Like he was everywhere in the 50s
Mm.
in Mexican culture. Like you couldn't you couldn't walk around a corner without seeing his face somewhere. Probably like it was just, or rather, not see his face somewhere, as the case may be. I think he was buried in his mask, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe he was. My
Yeah,
granny, my abuelita, my granny, she loved El Santo, much
yeah.
to the chagrin of my abuelito. He like he'd be like, oh, she's watching the damn movies again. She'd be in there watching like an El Santo. Oh, muy guapo, just to piss off my grandpa. He's like,
Yeah, the
I,
man with no face is more handsome than her
yeah,
husband.
yeah,
Wah wah.
exactly, yeah. She was trollish to him like that, and
She sounds awesome.
but she loved an El Santo movie, man. I tell you,
Yeah.
I've probably seen a bunch of them, and couldn't tell you names or plots or any of that shit. But I've probably seen at least half of like 12 or 13 of them.
I've seen
You
enough
know,
clips to know that he's never in his gear.
no,
It's
no,
just him in a suit,
yeah, like a
in like a
suit and a
full three
mask,
piece suit,
full
kicking
cowboy
ass
gear and the
in
mask.
kicking
Like
kicking tons of ass in the mask. Like
yeah,
that was him. Like
pretty
he
much.
looked put together. Nobody ever knew he looked put together.
Yeah.
But like we can talk about them. But what I want to talk about was my favorite luchador of that time period when I was that young. I loved me some Juventud Guerrera. I loved Juve. I He's kind of an asshole. Like in real life, he has a reputation for being a bit much, but I loved that kind of difference. He was really uh he was athletic in a different way than like a Rey Mysterio was. He was a little bit grittier. He was a little bit, I'm just gonna punch you in the face. Like he could do the flippy stuff. He was the first person I think I ever saw. No, no, because Scorpio. But I think the second person I think I ever saw do a 450 splash.
Mm.
But like he's still like he was a little bit more rough and a little less fancy, and that spoke to me because I was a big Benoit guy. I liked and Dean Malenko, who looked like they could literally rip your head off. I loved Eddie Guerrero, who could get down and dirty if he needed to. That's for sure. He was safe. He was super duper safe, but
Yeah.
like he looked like he was hitting you hard, especially if your name was Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but no, I loved Hoovy. I was really disappointed when they took the mask off and he was just a guy who wanted to be The Rock so badly that he started talking about himself in third person.
Oh man.
But as long as he was masked up, I loved Hoovy. I was a big Juice fan. He was the original Juice.
You know, I was a huge Hoovy fan. I liked Juventud Guerrera. And then my very first wrestling show that I ever worked, I got to work with Hoovy. And Hoovy was a fucking problem, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he has that reputation for a
Like,
reason.
yeah, I can't. I don't want to. That's really all I'll say on the matter. I don't want to like poo poo this positive segment here. I was a big Hoovy fan. I just found out later in life that he was a fucking backstage issue.
Yeah.
and in the worst possible way, as like being the greenest guy on the show. And like then like it was the only show I ever worked where the heel and face locker rooms were actually separated from one another.
Oh wow.
And if you want to know the type of problem that I had on my hands that night working as the assistant to the promoter, because Chris Romero had just started training me, and he wanted me, like I went to this show and did his running for him, you know.
Mm.
Um, and we had in one locker room both, and this is oh god, this was right before I went to the military. Like, because I
Mm.
started training before I went, and then I finished my training and became a referee and stuff after I came home. But so it was like beforehand, like before I left, and so 2000, early 2001, late 2000. So like
Mm.
Hoovy had just gotten fired from WCW or whatever had happened there. It was right after he was out of WCW and right after WCW closed down. And we had him and Jake the Snake in the same fucking locker room. Oh yeah, that look on your face is exactly. So yeah, that was the very first wrestling show I ever worked at, and we had Doink on that show too, like that era. Doink,
Which one?
Matt Doink.
Oh, poor Matt.
Oh god, it was bad.
Oh,
It was bad, dude. Like we had a
poor
problem.
Matt. He was so talented, and he just got into some bad stuff, man.
Yeah,
Like
it
so many
was
of that generation specifically got into some bad stuff.
yeah, it was just like a
Poor guy.
murderer's row of backstage problems, dog. It was
Yeah.
bad. So, um, yeah, I'm not gonna poo poo it any more than that. But I did when he came out in WCW at the beginning in the mask and everything. Like I was a big Hoovy fan. I thought he was
Yeah.
different, just different enough from the other guys, you know.
Yeah.
But WCW had like a lot of really unique luchadors, despite them all being masked guys from Mexico. They were
Yeah.
all like a lot of them were really unique from one another.
Yeah. But the only problem was that like they were always put up to lose against the Americans, and
Yeah,
they never got like mic time. So that's like, while the LWO was a cool idea and concept, like functionally it was bad
yeah,
because you had Eddie Guerrero as literally the only guy who could speak English fluently. And then all these other guys who, because of the culture that they came in from, were all just trying to kind of usurp the camera,
yeah.
the camera time. They were all trying to just get their face in there and
Mm,
look at me, look at me, look at me. And then you had them face off against Rey Mysterio, and that was like it before it all fell apart. But like they didn't give him any characters. The ones they gave characters to were Rey Mysterio, who wasn't really given a character so much as he was tiny and could do the most insane things. Uh, Hoovy, who, like you said, was different enough,
mm,
and he had the wild hair coming out of the mask, and he had a more American kind of hybrid style than the rest of them. You had Psychosis, who was most famous for basically being the best bass in the business. But
yeah.
basically, like, I don't know if I've seen a better lucha bass than Psychosis.
No, he's
Honestly,
great.
he was huge for a luchador.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Honestly,
really
like
tall.
he was like, but he could do most of the stuff that the other guys could do. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen due respect to guys like um oh gosh. Oh, I can't think of his name now. It's a common problem because I'm old. Due respect to Bobby Eaton, but like,
mm,
I don't know if I've seen a top rope guillotine leg drop better than Soko's. Like,
yeah,
sorry, the just the the length of the ring that he could cover with it, and then he would do it to the outside on a standing opponent, like
Yeah.
on the floor. Like the dude was nuts. Um, so, but he was most famous for being the guy who always lost to Rey Mysterio
Yeah.
more than anything. And then
Yeah.
you had Laparca with the chair, the chairman of the board, baby.
Yeah.
Loved Laparca. But like that was kind of it. I mean, there's no other better evidence than that for this than the one Luchador Battle Royal that they had to just determine the number one contendership to Chris Jericho's cruiserweight title, and Cyclope won, and it was nobody could tell the difference between him and Dean Malenko, who
Yeah.
had such a different style from everybody else that he probably should have, except
Yeah.
nobody gave a crap about Cyclope.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they were all treated as just kind of bodies,
Mhm.
with the exception of a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Hoovy was one of them, and I love Hoovy,
Yeah.
even if he's an ass, and
Mhm.
he is. He's very much an ass. I was very excited when he showed up as one of the labors of Jericho.
Yeah.
I was super stoked, and the match was good. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't bad at all. It was really good.
All right, your turn.
Trying to think here. Because there's like so many masks. Like I have like this Rolodex,
I
man.
know,
Like,
and it's kind of a wide category,
yeah,
really.
it really
A
is
lot
a
of things
wide cat.
fall in it, even if just like they're stepping their toe in the ocean, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Um, hmm. You know, this is gonna be a weird one, and it's only this guy because I think they just landed on this guy, but couldn't. It could have been somebody so much better. But when I was a kid, one of the most intriguing wrestling storylines that I was able to bear witness to fully through television and just like really follow the story was Sting versus the Black Scorpion. And I remember that the Black Scorpion was like several different fucking people.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Famously,
really,
they came up with a gimmick without figuring out first who was going to be under the hood.
yeah.
They're like, oh, we'll make it up later.
And it's supposed to be somebody from Sting's past and all this other stuff. And honestly, I didn't know a lot about Sting's past other than at one point he had been the tag team partner of the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And I thought for a while there during this time that it was going to be the Warrior, just in a mask. And then they had matches, and this guy would show up. And even as a kid, I had noticed really easily that, like, when he would show up, it was different guys.
Yeah.
And then when they finally did the reveal, it's Ric Flair.
Oh,
And I was like, I mean, for WCW, yeah, that pretty much is the only guy he has any real history with.
Yeah.
But like there, I mean, and at the
And
time,
Lex, I guess.
yeah, and Lex, but at the time, based on my own knowledge, like there was really only one other valid choice with the way they were playing it as it being somebody from his past.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it made sense that it was Flair, but at the same time, I was
It
like,
wasn't satisfying, though.
yeah, it
Was
wasn't
it?
satisfying. And then, like, in the weeks leading up to it, I was like, okay, this guy that they're revealing who's about to pull his mask off is not the guy who was there the week before that, or the week before that, or the week before that. Like, this is not that same guy. Like, they really played up the cape thing, I think, to try to cover up the physique because they didn't know
Yeah.
who was going to be. And I've seen this happen. I've seen it happen live in wrestling, like in the NWA territory where I worked. We had this like one character who wore a hood, and that guy was, it was like the character was over with the kids, but it was four different dudes
Yeah.
before they had him like turn heel and betray a guy. And then once he betrayed the guy, it landed on one specific person to reveal. And
Yeah.
that guy wasn't the person who had been playing him the whole fucking time. Like, he wasn't even one of the four guys who he was before the reveal. Like, they were like, oh, well, we could have him betray this guy, and then it could be a a return storyline for this guy. And I'm like, yeah, but that guy and that guy and that guy are all like 150 pounds heavier than this guy.
Yeah.
And it
Noticeably different
yeah,
physique wise.
nobody in the crowd actually seemed to notice on the night of the reveal. They were only super stunned by who the reveal was.
Well, I
But
guess it worked then.
it was more satisfying on the indies where we did it than it was in WCW when it ended up being Flair. But
Yeah.
like really what this boils down to is that this was a masked wrestler who until the reveal had literally one of the most compelling wrestling storylines of like the early to mid 90s, like before the Attitude Era. Like everybody was tuning in to find
Yeah.
out who this guy was. Like I remember talking with people at school about it who I didn't even know liked wrestling. They'd be like, "Oh, the Black Scorpion, blah blah." Like, "Hey, what are you talking about?" "Oh yeah, Sting going against this Black Scorpion guy." I'm like, "Oh, dude, like who is it?" "Ah, my God, like, I didn't even know you liked wrestling." Heck yeah, like, but it was the first time I remember like having conversations with people outside of like my family and the people I knew, like my friends who I knew liked wrestling,
Yeah.
about a storyline that was happening on national wrestling television that like people were like really intrigued, like who is it? Who could it possibly be? And I'm in the little bit of knowledge I had, I'm like, well, it could only be like two people, you know.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be one of my guesses, but I was like, no, that guy doesn't look like him, or that guy's too tan to be him, or that guy's too
Yeah.
big to be him, and then
we
it was
we
still
we
Ric Flair.
overanalyze every little thing now. Like just the
Yeah.
age of the internet, we analyze things to death.
Yeah.
Uh, I think for my next one, I think I'm gonna go with uh someone possibly a little unorthodox, but I'm gonna go with Mick Foley, Mankind.
Ah, yeah.
Uh, First of all, I loved the mask itself because nothing looked like it.
No.
It looked like nothing else I had ever seen, and nothing else I've ever seen looked like it.
Yeah.
Apparently, the mask was a real challenge to wear, to keep clean, etc. But like it instantly lent this weird, wild, uh, dangerous quality to Mick Foley that he didn't really need. He was Mick Foley. He was Cactus Jack, man. Like he had it all on his own. But like
Yeah.
it set this aside as like a different dangerous in the sense that it's like, oh, that dude's weird. You don't want to cross him. Not like in a like, oh, dude, that's the toughest guy at the bar. You don't want to cross him. It's like, oh, this guy is weird. Like
Yeah.
definitely, and it was aided with the whole double entrance exit theme presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that he so often when people adopt a different persona, whether it's a mask or face paint or something else, they don't really change up what they do in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that. Like, I love Finn Balor and I love the demon aesthetic for that character, but he doesn't wrestle any differently.
No.
He does all the same stuff. He does all the same stuff. And I always thought, like at least like save some moves in your repertoire for when you're only the demon.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mick Foley didn't do that. He changed up a lot of what he did. He kept some things the same, but he changed up a lot of what he did in the ring when he was that original incarnation of the Mankind character. Not the one with the tattered referee shirt, the all brown singlet with the weird like onk thing on the
Yeah.
back. Like the whole initial concept of the character, the one that had that incredible match with Shawn Michaels at Mind Games,
Mm-hmm.
and who brought the Undertaker down to earth. Like that whole run up until he kind of opened himself up with that sit down interview that we were talking about earlier, that sit down interview with JR, where it
Mm-hmm.
kind of humanized him a little bit more, made him more sympathetic. That whole run right through there, incredible work. And it's all done by a guy whose face you can only kind of half see.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
wrestling in that could not have been easy because like you're probably like half blinded on the one side by the apparatus where
Yeah.
like most of the leather is, and it's kind of like poking out like in your periphery, and the other one is free and clear, but like this you can't see on like on your right side or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I may be wrong about that. I mean, I would hope that the side that would be opened up would be his left side because that's the side you work.
Yeah.
But um as a wrestler, but like I can't remember specifically which side of the face it was. Uh, Either way, like it was a real crucial piece of that presentation, and I loved that character. I thought
Yeah.
it was so rich and layered and unique, and I mean, it's a credit to the kind of performer that Mick Foley was. That he put the extra thought into it.
Mhm.
Whereas, these days, like, oh, his face is painted, he's gonna be meaner, and then he does all the same stuff. It's just sold different. It's sold differently, but it's not performed differently. You
Right.
know.
Right.
So I liked the lengths that Mick Foley went to make this character, which was initially pitched as Mason the Mutilator.
Eh.
Ugh, God, how 90s can you be?
Uh,
Um,
I don't know. Chili
and
McFreeze.
and made it his own, and made it work.
Yeah.
Like that guy, I think he was introduced to the WWF audience in May, maybe April. It was like right after WrestleMania 12,
Mhm.
and by Mind Games, which I think was in October, he was in a world title match.
Yeah.
Kind of says something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So So yeah, I mean, I know it's cliche to heap praise upon Mick Foley of all people, but I mean, if you're talking mass wrestlers, I think that especially if we're going to talk about Vader, we kind of got to talk about Mick Foley.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Um,
One more from you, and then one more from me, and then we'll call it a day.
well, I mean, maybe only one more if it's the same one. But like I've talked about some WCW guys and we've talked about some WWE guys, and then there's indie wrestlers. And when I think about famous indie wrestlers who wear a mask, I mean, there's only one real guy that crosses my mind, and it's
Is he currently running an orphanage?
yeah, I believe he might be because his name is El Generico.
Yeah, there it is.
And I mean, really, can you say enough good things about Sami Zayn? Probably not. Um, can you
I
say
mean,
enough good things about Generico? Fuck no. Who else doesn't know Spanish but runs a luchador gimmick where they're the generic luchador and they can barely speak Spanish, but they won't speak anything else to you.
and he's whiter than that.
Yeah, and he's super white guy.
Yeah,
Um,
which is weird for. I don't think I've ever seen another ginger Arab
I don't think I have either.
my entire life. Like, I that's awesome. Like, good for him. He might be the only one.
Yeah, he
That's
might be
pretty
the only one
great.
I've ever seen.
He's the only one I've
Uh,
ever seen.
Also the only pale, pasty white luchador I've ever seen,
Yeah,
and
no kidding.
was just fantastic. We
Yeah,
were lucky enough to get to see him wrestle live once. I don't know. I didn't see him any more than that. Just that one time at
yeah. I think that's the only
Supercard.
time I saw El Generico too.
But super fun to watch live, over with the crowd in a way that a lot of people, even like established ROH stars, were not over with the crowd. Like Generico just really had people in the palm of his hand.
Yeah,
And I'm glad to see, like where his career's gone and everything like that. I wish he would come over to AEW for a while. Put that mask back on, bud. Come on over.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, like as far as like indie wrestlers in masks, that's like the one,
yeah. You
like
could, I guess, you could add Delirious in there, or multiple guys from Shakara,
I mean,
but
you could.
but they're not really in the same echelon.
No, no. Generico is almost atop the pile by himself.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the other guys. I mean, it's the same for a lot of them though. You got ROH era and like Lucha Underground era, but a lot of those guys are on TV still in prominent positions without their masks.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn,
I mean, that
Ricochet,
counts
Jeff
for the sake
Cobb.
of this discussion,
Yeah,
but
but I mean, if I have to look at it, yeah, like I said, like we got the other guys for that same era. We got like Prince Puma, and we got Matanza
yeah.
and people like that.
Let me tell you, the only Lucha Underground that I have seen, one was the episode where they introduced Matanza, Jeff Cobb, and boy, was that a debut.
Yeah,
dude, he killed everybody in that match.
I'm pretty sure
ran through them like a bulldozer.
I'm pretty sure in the storyline, either right there or not long after that, he actually did kill someone in the storyline.
Yeah, I mean,
like one of those guys, I can't remember who it was, but one of those guys like literally actually died on the show. As far as his character, but
they treated it like a telenovela, basically.
Basically,
makes sense.
But yeah, man, like Generico just is in a lane of his own as far as all that shit goes. He's all by himself where he sits, and it's a prominent and well deserved position because I mean, like I said, I didn't all the way understand his allure, and then I saw him live, and I got it. I got it immediately. Yeah. If somebody can show you live why everybody likes him so well, that's enough.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing for a wrestler is the live connection, the connection with the live crowd.
Yeah.
Like you may not be able to see it, through your TV screen. You got to feel it live sometimes. Live show charisma, as they call it, or whatever.
Yeah.
Usually that's a derisive term, but it's a real thing and it's valuable. It's probably more valuable than people give it credit for.
Yeah. Probably.
And the last guy I want to talk about is a guy we've talked about before, but I'm not done talking about him. I want to talk about the man, Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh, man.
God, I love this man's work so much.
My very favorite masked wrestler, like probably of all time.
Yeah, mine too. Like oh my God, I don't know how many. I don't know the age demographics of our listeners, so I don't know, and I don't know when they came into wrestling or not. But if you've never seen Jushin Thunder Liger, he had a long and storied career. He actually had to change his style up in the late 90s to accommodate for an injury that he got, and he was still just as good. He didn't do as many flips and dives and everything they used to do, but this is the guy who invented the shooting star press.
Yeah.
Like in 1986.
Yeah.
Like he was wearing a full bodysuit and a huge ass mask on his face. He invented and perfected the shooting star press. Yeah. Think about that. Think about how hard it is to do when you can see what you're doing and when you're not constrained by a full body outfit. And now consider the fact that this guy wasn't like even like super duper like lean or cut or super duper athletic. He was kind of a chunky guy, actually, stout, but like, it actually worked in his favor because even though his flips didn't look as pretty as some of like the polished guys now, because he was kind of chunky, they all carried that extra weight. So it made it look more impactful.
Yeah.
And he had a bunch of different weapons at his disposal. I mean, Excalibur to this day calls a sit-out power bomb and Liger bomb.
Liger bomb.
People, the capo kick basically was the predecessor to the Pele kick in a lot of ways. Lots of people were doing capo kicks, for the front flip kick before they were doing the back flip kick from AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Like dude had a great chemistry with pretty much everybody that you could think of that generation. He showed up on WCW TV like intermittently from like 1992 all the way through like 1997.
Yeah. And
Like,
had
so
great
I
matches with
saw,
everybody. People like Brian
yeah,
Pillman. Remember Brian
he
Pillman
showed
and
up in,
Liger?
he had a great match with Samoa Joe in TNA for the X
Yeah.
Division title.
Yeah, he
I
did.
think it was for the X title. Like it just, the dude was, he showed up, he was entertaining every single time. He had a brilliant series with Brian Pillman that really showed what Pillman could do
Mhm.
before he shattered his ankle.
Yeah.
Um, Brian Pillman was really, really talented in the ring, guys. I know that a
Yeah.
lot of people think of him as mostly the character who just kind of stood around and did
Mm.
demented, loose cannony things because his ankle was like completely shattered. I think a motorcycle accident, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken,
Yeah.
and really limited his mobility once he got signed to WWE. But like in his day, in his prime, he was a terrific athlete, dungeon trained,
Mm.
and he was going toe to toe with Jushin Thunder Liger, Japan's probably most popular export at this point in
Oh,
time.
definitely. Definitely.
Muda is probably the
Yeah.
guy that
Like
was up
him
there
and
with him.
Muda. Yeah, it was him and
Like
Muda for
Muda
sure.
showed up earlier. He showed up
Yeah.
in NWA in 1989, I want to say. Had a great series of matches with Sting and with Arn Anderson. And he
Hmm.
would show up in WCW from time to time, usually with Gary Hart by his side. Um, he would he would show up and be part of the Dark Carnival with Vampiro and the Insane Clown Posse in WCW. That was an interesting thing. But like Liger was like right there with him in terms of popularity, and
Hmm.
to this little kid to see that superhero at the rise of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the cultural consciousness too, and he looked like one of those guys. Like
Yeah.
it was a perfect storm of circumstances. It's like, this is my guy. He's not going to
Yeah.
be here all the time, but I'm not rooting for anybody against that guy because that guy's the best. He's the
Yeah.
best. And I got
His
to see him live at that same show, and it's one of my favorite wrestling memories. Like, I got to see Jushin Liger live. It was awesome. It was
like
so cool.
Liger. I mean, if your thing is flippy shit,
Yeah,
Liger probably invented the things you like, all of them. Like he did. If he didn't invent it, he did something close to it that your favorite wrestler improved on. He is like he is to lucha libre and the Japanese high flying style and the flippy shit American style the same that Chris Canyon is to being an innovative good hand.
yeah. That's
Um,
a really good comparison.
yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, if you like something, if you like people doing dives and flips and stuff like that, you need to go ahead and just thank the high flying god Jushin Thunder Liger for
Yeah,
bringing that stuff to our shores. Because without Jushin, there is no WCW Luchador division. There is no crossover from AAA and WWE. There is no New Japan or and All Japan crossovers into WCW. None of that shit happens without the unreal huge popularity of Yushin Thunder Liger, which was most of that goodwill was built on that series of matches that he had with Brian Pillman. And
yeah,
guys, we can't stress the Brian Pillman part enough. Like Bengals trunks, Brian Pillman was
yeah,
a fucking superstar, man.
yeah.
He was
Who knew
big.
his worth too?
He really did. And but those matches with Liger, man, they made him, they made Liger, they like for that may be the first time in my life that I remember where work rate became the forefront issue
Yeah,
because those guys could fucking work, man. By
yeah.
today's standards,
Oh
they could
yeah.
fucking
Oh,
work.
absolutely. They could both hang. They could
Yeah.
both hang with today's crew
So,
for
yeah, and
sure.
transplant either of those guys into AEW today, and you have 7.5 star matches, and one of them is going to be the world champ. Like,
Yeah,
straight
it
up.
probably Pillman.
Probably Pillman. Yeah,
because he
but
could also, as he would later show, prove that he could do the character
yeah,
stuff just as well,
yeah,
or
he
the
could do the
microphone
character stuff
stuff.
too. But yeah, Pillman would have been great. But yeah, Liger was. I mean, without him, that doesn't work though. Pillman
Yeah,
had to have a foil as good as Liger to get the
yeah,
respect that he ended up with in this business. And Liger deserves every bit of that same respect, every bit, because he was
sure,
a true innovator to wrestling. Like Liger was one of the very first wrestling can be anything guys, because people
yeah,
weren't doing 450s and Liger bombs and shit like that before that guy came along. Like we could thank Jushin Liger for the power bomb pretty much because he may not have invented it, but he did something close enough to it that people were just like, "Oh, what if I did that without sitting down?"
yeah.
And
Well, I
boom, we have
mean,
a power bomb.
I think Luthez invented the power bomb, but he like it wasn't as much a slam as it was like a pin. Like he picked
Yeah,
them up and then he like held them,
yeah,
and then it kind of disappeared from
yeah,
wrestling for decades, and then you see it popping up in the mid to late '80s, mostly with taller guys,
yeah,
with like your Sid Viciouses and stuff like that. But yeah, Liger was the one. He was the one to innovate running with it.
yeah,
He put him on his shoulders. He ran 2/3 of the way across the ring, and then planted him, and then hooked his legs over the guy's arms.
yeah.
Nobody had done that before him.
No,
Now
nobody
it's
had done that before him.
commonplace.
Yeah, he basically made the power bomb a finisher and not
Yeah,
just a thing you did as a big guy.
yeah,
Because like I mean, I mean, putting somebody up like that on your show, like calling it a power bomb, call it whatever. It's kind of something that would naturally come about anyway. But
yeah.
just like a lot of the other things that Liger did that he pulled out of it, because you could tell that guy lived in the tapes. You could tell he
Oh
lived
yeah,
in them, man. He did shit that like it's like he watched matches like how could I do every move these guys just didn't better,
yeah.
or how could I sell this and better because he had a
And
mask on and he could
he
still
didn't limit
convey
it to wrestling.
pain.
He didn't limit it to wrestling either. The Shooting Star Press came about because he saw in a manga comic book a a wrestler doing a weird backflip kind of deal forward. It was innovated in a comic book and then brought to real life by Jushin Thunder Liger, who figured out how to do it.
Yeah, but this guy like he could convey emotion despite
Yeah,
wearing a mask that covered his entire face, which is fucking difficult.
yeah, I
For
can.
those of you who
Yeah,
don't know,
definitely imagine.
like he is like yeah, Liger was once in a lifetime, and we will never see his like again.
Yeah,
Like it just because no, I mean, yeah, there's probably somebody who in 20 years will be sitting here on this podcast going, man, that guy really was innovative. But we won't know it until the style of wrestling overall kind of becomes the things that they do
yeah,
now. You don't
yeah,
really realize how innovative someone is until 20, 30 years down the road when you can see their widespread impact on the
yeah.
business.
I
And with
mean,
Liger, you can see where like you
yeah,
could trace directly from 89, 90 all the way to now and be like, you know
yeah.
what, the fucking Liger did that and Liger did that and Liger did that.
Mm-hmm.
And this came from something that he did.
Yep. It's like the same thing. Like the generation after them would be directly inspired, mostly, I think, by three guys or four guys: Sting and Ric Flair, or Brett and Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can see that the perfect example of that is the Young Bucks, because they spam super kicks. And they before AEW they adopted a lot of the DX mannerisms,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would constantly be doing sharpshooters too. Like it was all Brett. It's still all Brett and Shawn with them. It's
Yep.
all over their code.
Yeah.
It's like honestly, I mean, they do a lot of their own stuff, but like most of their yeah, most of the spots that they're known for, not most, but a couple of the spots that they're really known for are just direct tributes to that to those two guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Same with like
you
MJF
can
and
see the
Flair.
DNA.
You see a lot of Flair and MJF, like a lot.
Oh, a ton.
Like a lot, man. Yeah, he
Ton.
definitely pulls a
And we're not
lot of
talking
influence.
like we're not talking 90s Ric Flair. We're talking like 80s Ric Flair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The same way FTR is only Tolian just
Yep.
new. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's we see a lot of their influence, and yeah, I mean, in 10 years, who knows? Who it'll be. In 20 years, who knows? I can definitely see a few people that could probably be like, oh, I bet I bet Speedball has a hell of a fucking impact on the business in about 20 years. I bet there's a lot of people wrestling that style.
I can see that. For sure.
Maybe Darby for just as crazy because he's just.
I could definitely see Darby getting a following.
Yeah,
as long as he manages to stay uninjured
and alive. Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who could influence the business now, but like as far as Liger was just such an influence on so many people. You can see it. You can see it everywhere. You can see it everywhere. And even people who influence the people of like the younger, like the Young Bucks are all about Shawn and Brett, but tell me Shawn probably didn't steal a couple things from Liger,
Probably did, yeah.
Because
probably did.
He was a high flyer when he started. Shawn was. I mean, of course he was probably looking at Liger to up his moveset. I mean, the guy might have been wrestling overseas at that point, but tell me somebody like Shawn and the guys back then were not in the tape world. I mean, most wrestlers, like, we seek out shit that we can't just watch, and watch tape like football players, man. We watch tape. When I'm actively reffing, I'm watching referees like Earl Hebner and, Lil Nate. Like I watch those guys matches specifically and do things that they do. Like
even in 1995, when Nitro first started, Liger was on that first show.
Oh,
you got to tell me that they weren't watching.
Yeah.
That first show.
Exactly.
They were watching. It was very commonplace for both companies' guys to be watching the other show as they were at work. Like it was.
Like you walk into a locker room and they got Raw on, or you walk into a Raw locker room and they got Nitro on, or as I've heard purported on several occasions, sometimes you could walk into Vince's office and Nitro would be on.
Yeah.
So because he's watching the competition.
In order to beat the competition, you got to see what they're doing.
Yeah. I bet that was happening pretty often during those 83 weeks or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, Liger. Like, of course, best for last on this one, man. Liger,
for sure,
class all his own, as far as influential and masked. Shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that just about covers things for this week.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Garrett Deming, for our theme song. Thanks, Weirwood, for our background music. Thanks, Team Disaster Plan, and Prognostic Pedals for the sponsorships. Thank all of you for listening. It is a dangerous world out there. Please keep your head on your shoulders. Keep it on a nice swivel. Be safe. We love you. And as always, fuck ice.
Fuck ice.
You should have seen how hard you said that F.
Leaned real heavy into it.
Yeah, fuck ice. But yeah, peace out.
Peace.